Kokolioko, kokolioko, chicken they grow for day.
The oldest republic in Africa. And yet, we're one of the least developed countries on the continent, and indeed one of the least developed countries in the world. And I say to you, my fellow Liberians, we deserve a better Liberia. We need to ask ourselves some fundamental questions. Why are we where we are? Most Liberian homes don't have electricity. Most Liberian homes don't have running water. Most Liberians are unemployed. These are things we can change. These are things we should demand of ourselves and of our leaders. We, as Liberians, cannot keep doing the same things and expect different results. We cannot keep electing and selecting the same kinds of leaders with the same kinds of experiences and expect Liberia to change. We have to do many things differently, and that starts with selecting and electing new leaders who know how to create jobs, who know how to grow the economy, who will prioritize the Liberian people first before they prioritize themselves. And this is what I offer you, the Liberian people. The other universal truth that I want to share with you, my fellow Liberians, is the best predictor of future performance and future behavior is past performance and past behavior. And again, I ask you to look at my record of job creation, of success, of managing large budgets without one penny going missing. All of these things you can look at and compare to the other candidates. And again, you will see that my past performance and past behavior is a good predictor, a good indicator that what I commit to, we will deliver. There are 5 priorities we have, and we call that the what's. And then there are 5 things we call the how we'll do it. And those priorities are as follows. Our first priority is infrastructure. Simply put, it's electricity, it's roads, it's water, and it's internet and cell phone connectivity across Liberia. We have to invest in infrastructure. That is the top priority. That's the basis on which we can and will do everything else. The second priority for us is job creation. There are too many unemployed, underemployed, and unemployable Liberians. The unemployment rate is over 85%. And therefore, job creation is our next priority, creating jobs for the Liberian people. Our next priority is agriculture. We are a country that do not fear ourselves. These are things we can do for ourselves. We should be producing rice to feed ourselves. And my commitment is that by the end of my first term in office, we will be self-sufficient in rice production. And within education, we are focused on vocational training, teachers training, and adult education. But we have to educate our young people because, again, that's how we can help them create jobs. That's how we can train farmers. And so these things are all linked together. And our final priority in terms of the what's is health. Because you can have good infrastructure, you can have a good job, you can feed yourself, you can have great education, but if you don't have your health, it doesn't matter. And so health is our 5th priority, and there we're focused on primary health care and preventive health care. So those are the what's we'll do for our people, for the Liberian people. How are we going to do these things? The first how is we want to engage Liberians differently in the transformation of our country. We call this hearts and minds. How do we get all Liberians to participate in the changes that are required? We're going to use arts and music and culture and reconciliation and religion. All of these things, we will be deliberate in using these things to engage us as a people in this transformation process. And so we're doing some work on how we can make those things happen. The next how is that we're going to find the money. We have to find the resources, the money, to do all of the what's I mentioned earlier. And the way we'll find the money is, first, we'll go after waste in government. You know, we spend a lot of money on things that we don't need, or we pay too much for things that we do need. So for example, I believe the vehicles we buy for our government officials, we spend too much money on that. We should reduce the number of vehicles, and we should buy less expensive vehicles for our government officials. We need to reduce how much they make so we can pay teachers and civil servants and police officers and the military officers and healthcare workers, people who actually do the work. We need to pay them more money and reduce the gap between those at the top and those who actually do the work. The other way we'll find the money is going after this thing called corruption. You know, corruption has been the bane of our country. Is the primary reason why we are as underdeveloped as we are today. And we will aggressively go after corruption. The first thing we'll do is we will appoint a corruption czar, a minister in charge of corruption in the presidency that will coordinate all of the agencies that are meant to find corrupt officials. Secondly thing we'll do is we'll make sure we are giving the resources, the money, the right people, the right logistics to the anti-corruption agencies, the LACC, Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission, the General Accounting Office, the Public Procurement and Concessions Commission. We will make sure they got the right resources to go after corrupt officials. After that, when we find people who are corrupt, we will prosecute them, we will put them in jail, and we'll seize their assets. It will not be good enough for you just to resign. So those are the things we will do to really go after corruption. I have committed that I will not take a salary. The salary that is paid the president, I will allocate it towards helping to fight corruption. That's how important I think it is to us. And then the other way we'll find the money is we'll make sure we're getting full value, the full monies we're due from our natural resources. We'll look to exploit other natural resources so we can get the funds required to fund healthcare, to fund infrastructure, to create jobs, etc., etc. So finding the money is the second how. The next how is we want to create a government of inclusion. We want all sections of our country to be represented in the government. We want opposition political parties to be in government because we believe that having a government inclusion will help all of us make the right decisions. It will make sure that we're spreading the resources of our country across the entire country. And then the last two hows, one is growing the private sector. We will focus on growing the private sector so Liberians can primarily benefit from that growth. No longer should Liberian business people be spectators to our economy. And we want to actively support Liberianization and encourage and provide credit and other facilities to Liberian businesses so they can participate. And last but not least, we will use technology. We'll leverage technology to help us achieve our goals. So those are the what's and the hows. But let me end by leaving you again with these two universal truths. One is we cannot keep doing the same things, my people, and expect different results. We cannot keep electing the same people with the same experiences and expect Liberia to change. We need to elect and select different people to lead us, to serve us, to help us manage and run our country. And the other universal truth is the best predictor of future performance and future behavior is past performance and past behavior. And on those two counts, I believe I stand head and shoulders above the other candidates expiring. Together, we will change Liberia for the benefit of all Liberians. We will transform our country we will give us a new start, a fresh start, so that all of us can benefit from this country we love. I thank you. God bless you. God bless the Republic of Liberia.
Chicken necro for day.
Okay, thank you guys. Thank you. Thanks for coming. Thanks for turning on. And this is Munel Kishan, aka the General. I will be out there for the next maybe 1 hour, and then I'll be calling the day off. And thanks again. Share this video. That's the only thing you can do for me. You can also follow me on YouTube, TGN TV. Just go to when you're home right now and you want to use your phone or want to use your tablet, just turn on the TV. Hey, open the door. Open the door. And you can just tune into YouTube and just type in all caps TGN TV, TGN TV, and you will be able to watch most of my show. Okay, so guys, I want to thank you very much again for tuning in. Let us talk Liberia. Let us put Liberia first. And it's all about Alexander Cups. Guys, 2023 is around the corner. We got a few more days to go into 2022. Ask yourself the question, what I'm doing wrong, what I'm doing right. Ask yourself the question, if everything is okay in my life. Tomorrow is not promising to no one. We just lost another guy called Edward Doe. Edward Doe died 2 days ago, and he always on Facebook, a very good writer, and he could not see another day. But be blessed, be thankful to God that at least you got breath, and that is some of the good things that we talk about. So, and I know you guys been following social media. There are a lot of news all over the place on different issues, but we're not going to go there. Some things is not necessary, and I'm not going to talk about it. Hold on 1 minute. So, all I'm here to do is to tell you about Alexander Cummings. I'm not here to promote myself. I'm not here to promote no one. I'm here to tell you about Alexander Cummings. Cummings is not running this government. Whatever that is going on, that's it. Everybody has a right to enjoy, but it's up to them how they're doing it. I see people posting all over the place with George Weah new Ra or his birthday gift or his Christmas gift or his New Year's gift. Hey, listen, guys. Sometimes it's not even necessary to talk about. It's not necessary. Other people do it. I know people talking about these things because of the hardship in the country. So be it. It's happening already. But the real issue, I called it the dry rice and fried fish issue. Some people say in America they call it the kitchen table issue. Some people talk on different things. But I'm talking about Liberian people life. Are they living better? Are things good for people? You see, it's so sad. In Liberia, 3 different group of people join. 1, either you're doing business. 2, you're in government and you're stealing. 3, you got somebody in government who is supporting you. But apart from that, everybody going through mess. Everybody going through hardship. Hardship. Anybody who go to Liberia and come back and tell me that Liberia is sweet, then maybe you only went there with your $5,000 in your hand, enjoy yourself, went from club to club, beach to beach, and you're back on the plane. It's sweet. You will enjoy it. You will do whatsoever. You will sleep with how many girls or women you want to sleep with. But do you think it's right? No. No. Some people think that when they make the statement, they say, yeah, you guys who day on Facebook talking, why you can't go home and do business? Go and help the government. How? You tell me to help a government. So you're telling me that the people who in government has the right to steal the country resources. So since we are ordinary citizens and we need to go home and do something, do you know how many Liberians going home to do business and they are still going through hell? Do you know how many Liberians go home every Christmas that spend millions of dollars in that country. Do you know that? So what the government doing? People going home at their own risks. People go home and they stay wondering. They don't even enjoy themselves. People leave the street by 5 o'clock because they got to be home. The same Liberians are leaving from here. Only those who have contact with some government officials that they can move in the street, or if you think you know yourself, you know what I'm saying? But guys, that is why some of us are desperate for change in Liberia. If the Liberian people think that George Weah is doing good, we will tell 2023. So I'm not here to argue with people and tell them, oh, what are you doing now? George, we are going to win. That's the right. That's the right to say what they want to say. But I am telling you, the ball is in your court. This time, it is your time to make that decision. You made a decision the first time, the ball is in your court. The first time you voted, hold on 1 minute, guys. Please hold on 1 minute. This is important. Hold on 1 minute, just 1 minute. Let me go to a quick break. I need to get some information from someone, please.
That in the business you catching fever, getting serious like anti-river. Ain't no stopping by the river. And as we coming, we sweeping, we cutting, we moving all the way. We coming, well, it's gonna be coming. As we coming, we sweeping, we coming. Anywhere we meet up, stick, well, it's gonna be coming. Yeah, you come on, man, yeah, we coming.
I tell Okay, guys, I'm sorry I had to take a call quick. So, as I said, the ball is in your court. The decision is yours. We're not begging you, we're not forcing you, we're asking you to see reasons you can make the decision this time around. And don't be discouraged about the noise and what's going on. Don't say, oh, because you don't like me, so you not vote for the right person, or you don't like this person, so you not vote for this person. The ball is in your court. You can make the decision. You saw yourself in President Weah. You voted for him. Don't feel discouraged. Don't say, oh, President Weah was the one who looking different. He was a neutral guy, so we voted for him. So Mr. Cummings now is the same thing. No, no, no. This is how we don't make things work. We believe that because one Liberian mess up a business, so that means there's no other Liberians who can do it. You almost like you're telling me that because you had a nasty accident, if they bring an ambulance to take you to the hospital, you will refuse to get in the ambulance because you just had an accident. No. Or because you had a terrible marriage, that means you will never trust a woman or a man anymore. No. You see, we must do the right thing. Change comes gradually. You will try the first time, you don't make it, you try the second time, you try until you can get the right change. That is why some of us are desperate for change. The individual that I'm supporting, I don't need to have a relationship with him. All I want him to do is to have a relationship with Liberia. It's to put Liberians first in everything that you do. That is why we're looking for a leader. I'm not looking for a leader who will be concerned about himself, who will purchase whatsoever he wants because he thinks that he got the country, he's sitting over the country money and he can use it the way he wants to. That is why we want change. Don't blame yourself for the past officials. You did your part, you voted, and you owe no one an apology. You owe no one. Seditions, you disgruntled, you disenchanted, you piss off the way you can call it. But don't allow it to decide your destiny. You made that decision because you saw something in them, but they never reciprocated the good back to you. Today, they're trying to lie to us. Oh, we're doing this. Oh, the best government. Oh, we're doing this other one. But I know you can feel the hardship. You know that you're feeling the hardship. You, the one that wearing the shoe. Come 2023, make that decision. Don't let the world laugh at us that we cannot do. Liberians can never make a decision on their own. Liberians always want to follow the wrong thing. Don't do it. You have the power. People say, oh, you're wasting your time. They will cheat. You have the power to vote. When you worry about what they're going to do to you and they have not done it, then you're defeating yourself. If you're into a relay, when you're on the track and you're running, do not look back. Look at your opponent. Continue to run. If your opponent going to pass by you or overtake you, they will overtake you. Don't start running and you want to look back. That is what we're doing. I am not looking back and I'm in a race to win. If I don't win, that's it. But I am in this race to win. I'm not here to joke. I'm not the one who in the race. I'm not the one who running for president, but the person that I'm supporting, I believe in our person's agenda. I believe that we can do it. It needs hard work. The end of a hill is the beginning of another hill. So climbing the top has no end. When you go in the bush and you try to pick your little medicine, the one you bend down to, that the next person want medicine. You know what I'm saying? So let us do what is right for Liberia, our children's children, our young ones that come in, they're graduating for college, no jobs, no part-time jobs, no vacation job, nothing. Everybody just giving all the fun, sweet talk. Listen to your politicians. Ask them questions. What will you do? I just play you the 5 whats and how of Mr. Cummings. I just show you sample of his agenda. And every day is upgrading because things change every time as time goes by. Next year, it will be a different thing. But you're not downgrading. He's not downgrading. He's upgrading. And he continued to tell you the same thing. He's consistent with his message. He going with the message and telling you, say, this is what we can do. Infrastructure, we will create jobs. When you see in America today, when they put there, you say the infrastructure bill, transportation bill, and whatsoever, it creates jobs. And everything is in there. Agriculture. And Mr. Cummings going around the country, he taking notes. If you want to run for president, you go around. Monrovia, Montserrado County is not Liberia. Until we can erase that thing from our mind. Counties is not Liberia. They have county politics, district politics, county politics, country politics. Yes. When you want to be president for Liberia, you should serve every county. Every county in Liberia is important. Every tribe in Liberia is important. Every religion in Liberia is important. Do you love human beings? Do you respect the dignity of human beings? Do you respect human value? If you respect human beings, that means you want everything to be good. Dignity of labor, that we downgrade, we don't care. Certain jobs, no. The only people that do certain jobs in Liberia, they should be old people and don't know nothing. No. Once that job can support you, we should respect that person. If there is no cleaner, there is no sanitation worker, what's going to happen to you? When the last time the bosses tell the owner man, thank you, the sweeper, thank you, because we don't value the labor of another man. When the last time the minister walking through, going and look at the janitor and say, thank you for cleaning this place? When the last time? They don't do it. But you know what? When we bring it back in government, then, oh, my reverend missed his flight. Hold on 1 minute, please. Hold on 1 minute. Bureau? You like Bureau?
In my wife DoorDash.
So what happened? The flight didn't go today?
No, but the people can't. I told you the people call us
When they call you?
late Monday morning. Not 2 times they call me, text me rather. 9:30, 9:14, 9:33. Flight cancel.
Well, you see, that what they been doing.
Same text, and then a couple other people that were going on the flight from Trenton all got a text.
So what did it say? Y'all need to take your money from there now. Y'all shouldn't be wasting your time, right? Don't waste your time. You gotta take the money from them. But I will call you back, right? I know that why I'm bother myself to even doing something quick. But you see, that's the same thing. Air Morocco just letting the people down. They're not even flying, and they continue to postpone them and tell us, oh, next week. So 3 cancellation plus the people who are set for today. So they just put you on another flight and they still taking passengers. So you see, these are the things that you look at. Ask them the question. And we sorry for the rift, the argument that is going on within the CPP. Don't let it discourage you. Don't let it discourage you. It's only trying to expose people greediness. Don't let it make us able. CPP we're not whole. Now they're blaming other people for their failures. They're blaming people for their own thing that they started, and now they can't handle it. So they're blaming us. They're blaming Mr. Cummings. They're blaming the ANC. You understand? But don't let it bother you. Don't let it move you. Share this video, guys. Don't let it move you. Yombly Group wrote CPP chairman, which is, and they sent it through Amin Mudar, saying that Zongo, Senator Zongo, who Darius Dillon and Yombly removed, and Bilete became the chairman, is now the new chairman for their group. And they sent a letter to CPP saying that this man is the man who going to, you see the data games that are going on right now. You see the game that's going on. Who will represent Liberty Party in the CPP? And Chairman Bility, who's supposed to be now the acting political leader and chairman, got his group. He's still part of the CPP. Election Commission, who's supposed to be the guardians, said they still recognize Bility because the party is made up of chairmen from different counties. Bility got 80% of the support from his people. Yombi got the rest 20. I don't know how to do it. But ego, greed is what killing them. Who is willing to take the blame? Who want to take the blame? Who want to do this? Now, let me ask you, according to our constitution and according to CPP regulation, their laws, the bylaws, the standard bearer of CPP must select his vice president. It won't be, the standard bearer will not be a woman, so just I say his. So if Mr. Bwaka is the standard bearer, it is his right to select his vice president. If he want to take, if he's a standard bearer and want to take Yombly, so be it. If he want to take another, the lowest man within the Liberty Party, so be it, if they have that agreement. If he want to go to ALP and take any person, but they must be within the CPP group. But Yombly is saying that Yombly, Delon, and others are saying that whoever, they should take Yombly. But Yombly and Delon have decided to support Mr. Bwaka. It is their right. But what they need to do, they were supposed to sit with the party and discuss it and say, guys, we are going, let what you guys think. We can go and support the Unity Party and we can get XYZ. What is in there for us? Other people say, oh no, we will support Mr. Cummings. But what's in there for us? You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, ALP, there's no disrespect. They are Hobo Joe. They sold their birthrights before people start to really recognize them. In a sense, the process had not started. The framework was not even put together when Mr. Ure came out and said, I will support Mr. Bwaka. So he was already out. So technically, indirectly, not on paper, they are part of UP. So that one is, so that's what makes Liberty Party was important. That what makes Yombly to be the tiebreaker. I'm going to pick from Darius Dillon's mouth. Darius Dillon said Liberty ALP have already decided to support the Omen. So Liberty Party was strategic. Liberty Party has everything. But when they came to the States, they forgot, they caught themselves and say, you know what? But Mr. Bwaka don't need the entire Liberty Party. Mr. Bwaka don't need the entire Liberty Party. Mr. Bwaka don't need, just only need one vote. So if you can get, if I can get Dillon and get Zango and other and whatsoever, just in case some other guys don't vote. So if I can get 50% of Liberty Party, fine, so be it. So let's go. We don't have to discuss with nobody. We don't have to talk to nobody. They went there, instead of talking to the chairman and saying how best to do it, they went and said, oh, we're going to join the Liberty Party, but they will carry Yombly. They said, no, madam political leader, it don't have to be you. Let us go the right way. Let the person decide who. Just why make it think, well, maybe I have an ambition, maybe I want that position too, but let the person decide. Oh, but they got they are storming black. So what we're going to do? Bam. Then Yombly realized that the power, what they were complaining about years back, but the power belongs to the standard bearer, that they all were fighting Bromskin, and they wanted to decentralize the party where the chairman runs the day-to-day affair of the party. It was already changed. Then they realized, they said, oh, damn, we don't have the power anymore. So now they want to go back to that whole thing. So what they did, they came out with fingering. They the one started the whole fingering. Then the next thing, Ure2 went to fingering. They loved the finger. So they went to all this fingering thing, finger. They tried to go to NAG, and they went to the Farmington place there. They had a nice meeting. They shook hands. They all agreed that the Constitution was right. Nothing happened to the Constitution. They all agreed. Love it, dub it, everybody on it. You look again, Yombly cannot back down because Dillon is dead. Dillon say over his dead body, Yombly must be the one to be the next president, the next vice president. So, ability to hell with you. Once they can deliver all the things, no problem. So they decided to turn over. They started to do the turning over ceremony. And she pushed her entire executive committee. And in the CPP, yes, the chairman is from a party, but the secretary, like the secretary, the one that heading the secretary will be the secretary general of that party, but they are all represented from all the other party who they work together. So when you're doing a turning over ceremony, they all worked as a team to plan the program. But this time around, Yombly, Dillon, and other people did it on their own and took it to Unity Party office just for endorsement. And her party, she abandoned her party. She disrespected her people. And they wrote her and said, Madam Chair, Madam Political Leader, don't do it. Let Unity Party come over to our place and we can go ahead with this program. Don't do it, please. She said she gave them the finger. She said, I will do it. Dillon, other people went there. The only people that attended that program was the executive committee member from Grand Bassa County and Monserrato County. They were the only people from Liberty Party. The entire Liberty Party were not present. Y'all forget about Alexander Cummings and forget about the ANC. But the lady who was turning over her party, you see how Liberians were not fair? The chair lady who was turning over to Unity Party, her party was not present because she disrespected them for the rule of law. She told them, to hell with you, whether you like it or not, I will do it. She and Dillon, the one who I told you before, I owe no one an apology. I supported him with my voice. Financially, I supported him. But today he's a crook. He's the biggest crook that I've ever, I'm telling you, you can steal 10,000 and another man can steal $100. Depends on how you steal the $100. I can even say you are worse than the man who stole the $1,000 because in the way you can do it, because if you can do it that way, you can do more than whatsoever. So they still went ahead. Don't you think they brought problem back within the party? Now, if Yombly, the political leader, Darius Dillon, can support Mr. Boakai, what is the wrong in it for the other people to support Mr. Cummings? What is the wrong? So what Mr. Cummings did? When you took the turning over ceremony to another party and disrespecting your people, why Mr. Boakai could not say, well, Yombly, you know the problem now, the way your people not happy, let's just go back to your party and do it. Oh, listen to me. Listen, you ain't get it too. You ain't get it. Why the Unity Party could not be responsible enough to be respectful of laws and say, Madam Chair, Madam Political Leader, I know your party is not happy. Your party is saying that they will not attend this program and it will not look good. So why can't we just go to your party headquarters and do it? No. They say, F you, they took it. ANC wrote and asked Liberty Party, can you allow us to use your place because your place is bigger? And since we are in collaboration, we can use it. The chairman and the executive committee members say, okay. By then, the political leader were out of the country. It was not Mr. Cummings who wrote the letter. It was not the political leader who sent the letter. The political leader of ANC was not even aware of the program because the program was already in the making to give him a surprise welcome. Some of you don't know. Let me open your eyes and get it into your head. Let me tell you, I was one of those who called to Liberia right after the convention when Mr. Cummings was nominated. I spoke with Jonathan. I even spoke with Ava. I said, listen, You guys need to plan something when Mr. Cummings come to the States, when he going back, to have a rousing welcome for him, a surprise to reintroduce him. He said, oh yes, I think that's true. So the letter did not come from Mr. Cummings to Billity and say, I want to use your head of it. Now, Liberty Party political leader out of the country. So you telling me now, because Yombly sent a statement and said, do not go there. Oh, because they're not happy about it, so Mr. Cummings and the ANC should back off. Why you guys, you guys are so wicked, envious, jealous, and make it look, because you can't fight Mr. Cummings. You can't fight Alexander Cummings. He's well protected by God. You serve God, I serve God, he served God. You cannot fight him no matter what you do. Let me tell you, you can go up and come down, because he's so calm and he concentrate and he stand fast. He knows exactly what he's doing. As far as we're concerned, you guys are not forcing. You refuse. You went and purchased and found another head office instead of you fixing the problem within your party. And let me tell you guys, don't you know that there was a split in Liberty Party from right after 2020, after 2017? Liberty Party split, including Yombly Kanga. She voted for George Manewia. Yombly Kanga and supported George Manewia in the second round 100%, because her husband was a sedition already. You know what I'm saying? Ben Senvi, all the other guys, Akesara, what? They all went to CDC. The other group went to Mr. Bwaka. So what is the big deal about it? If you can tell your people, I don't give a damn, I will go to the Liberty, to the Unity Party head office to endorse Mr. Bwaka indirectly, then if they support Mr. Cummings, is that a problem? At least for them, we want to see action. But they have never endorsed Mr. Cummings. Billity never came up one day and say, I'm going to support Mr. Cummings. Yes, you can see action, but sometimes the action is not, it's just an action. Billity will come up tomorrow and say, no, all that thing, yes, we will be working together, but I want to endorse this person. And I pray to God that they will endorse us. I pray that the endorsement should be for us. You know what I'm saying? There are two parties running. Now, they were respectful enough to invite the two candidates one at a time. Liberty Party, being a strategic party that going to break the tie, decided to talk to the candidates and say, what is your agenda? What plans you have for Liberia that we can fit in? And what you're going to do for us? If we support you right now, will you give us this XYZ? Because Liberty Party is more strategic to Bwaka UP compared to Mr. Cummings. Because if Liberty Party go to Mr. Cummings, then Liberty ALP go to Mr. Bwaka, that means there are two parties. But guess what? Forget about the party. Forget about the endorsement. When Liberty Party endorsed, the 310 delegates is not going to Mr. Cummings. We still will have to do our work. The ones who say, okay, I will support Mr. Cummings will vote. There are other people there who will not support Mr. Cummings. They might go to the other party. The same thing with the ALP. Mr. Ure can say, I'm going to support Mr. Bwaka. But do you show 100% that the 310 delegates will go to Mr. Bwaka? You don't show. Are you sure that the 310 for ANC will go to Mr. Cummings? I don't know. Liberty Unity Party is the same thing, because they all, two of them has the right to make the decision. The delegates, technically they should be neutral. When I say neutral, they are representing CPP and in the interest of CPP to produce the best candidate. You get it? So what is the big deal about it? What the crime that Mr. Cummings committed? That Delon of all person will go on social media, on radio station to cry like a baby, to show that he's ace or crook, to show the world that the Delon that we all talk about, the light, is not the light. The light was only on him, to shine on him, to give him power, and then come out because he got 9 years job. Disrespecting Mr. Cummings, insulting Mr. Cummings. He did it before. So Dillon will not come and cry. Dillon apologized to any other person I ever know in politics, because he continued to do the wrong thing, because Dillon think that Liberians are stupid people. That is why. You know, say I still owe no one apology. I'm not regretting of whatsoever, because what I did for Dillon, I did it from the bottom of my heart. I supported Dillon because of Liberia. I took my hard-earned money, $500, $200, and $300. That is what we do. That's what we can do. And I got a living witness, Emmanuel Yato and others, and it's proven. They can show. I can go out now and take it off and show the zeal that I sent there. Eh? So tell me, he received support from all over. But supporting you, it mean that you got to support Mr. Cummings. You don't need to support Mr. Cummings. You can support Mr. Bwaka, and you say, yes, you will support the candidate. Let me tell you some of the truth. That's why I say you stay guard or urge, although I'm disappointed in you, because for some of the little things that you're supposed to stand for, you don't stand for it. But you try to, they got the corrupt politicians who sometimes speak the truth for people to think that they are honest. You said, and I would give you a pass on that, that Dillon, I hope you listen to me, that CPP was not organized for any one person. It was not organized because of Bwaka to make Bwaka president. It was not organized to make Mr. Cummings president. Every party are equal within the CPP. Every party has the right to run for the standard bearership. We should write. Tell the other people, they don't want to say it. Tell them, which I have never heard you saying publicly, that Mr. Cummings should go as VP. You never said it, because your agenda is Liberty Party and political leaders should be the one to go. So you yourself don't want it, because when you try, you see, which I'll give that to you. But the other people don't know it. The other people don't know that Mr. Cummings should go as VP. That's the crime he committed. Because Mr. Cummings said, let us go to the primary. I am not here to come and tell you to go as VP. I'm not here to settle for VP. I'm here to win. Can you go to a competition and tell the people, well, I'm in this competition, I will just settle for the second place? Eh? Why are we doing this to ourselves? Why? So, you see, they caused the problem. And they are still causing the problem. They might end up going to Supreme Court. It's shameful for them to, and now they're talking about ANC. When it was the other way the other day, but today, Unity Party, because based on the greed, power greed and everything, they want to dissolve. They in fact, they came up publicly in the meeting, they want to dissolve. But they're thinking what to do, if they can dissolve it or not. We're not going to dissolve the CPP. We will not join you guys to dissolve the CPP. You are free to go. You are free to go. We're free to go. But we're not going. You know why we're not going? Because according to the document, if we leave, ANC will not participate, and we're not going to waste our time and tell Mr. Cummings to go as an independent. We're not going to waste our time on that. We help. We are the number one brander of this thing. We brand this thing. We make this CPP important. ANC makes CPP important. If you don't know, to show that we make it important, the entire country cries on Mr. Cummings, why you join them? Why you have to join these people? We know that these people were crook. Why you join them? We say because we are Liberians. We want to unite ourselves. We want to bring ourselves together. I believe in them. We can work together. The Liberian people say it will not work. This thing will not work. These guys will not get, it will not work. The operation. Then today you agree that it would not hold. Now you want to break it up to prove Liberians wrong. That because of people like you guys in the CPP who feel that this thing should break apart. That is why Liberians don't support politicians. But I'm here to tell you today, it is a good thing that it's happening now. There are a lot of rooms. We can fix it. We can get it right. We can do everything. Let us go. Let us forget about the consensus billing passed already. The VPS, don't let it go. Let us go to the convention. The best way to solve this problem is for us to just go to the convention, go by the rules. Whoever win, even if I don't want to support you, I shouldn't say anything. I should just let it go. And we will support whoever. If Mr. Cummings go to that place and lose, I will not follow Mr. Cummings if he decide to leave. And I believe Mr. Cummings will not leave, because if Mr. Cummings leave, I mean, I'm disappointed in him. He said, I will not leave. He gave me his words over and over. In fact, he personally called my name and said, Ms. Munir, I will not leave the CPP if I am not elected as Tenor Bearer. I will stay within the CPP. I will support the CPP. You know what I'm saying? Why you think Mr. Cummings, everywhere he went, when he's speaking, he said no disrespect, but CPP and CDC. Why? We brand this party. We went around, we talked, we continue to use the word CPP, CPP. Then today we should break it up and go tell the Liberian people and say what? Those of you think within yourself, individually, under the laws, you cannot hold anyone hostage. You cannot hold me hostage. If I want to leave an organization, I'm free to leave. But if the organization sign a contract, it is not the member that signed the contract. You see, I'm not a lawyer, but according to my little sense, when an organization signs a contract, the contract is not binding on you, the individual. So-called educated people, I want you to listen to this today. You guys who think you know too much, when you if you in a group and that group sign a contract, you as an individual or member of that group, you can leave. No one can hold you. You are free to associate and disassociate. The organization is the one who signed the contract. And almost if you have an article of incorporation, if you got a company and they say this company name is Yagbabulo Enterprise, if Mr. Kishen, who is there working, they do not hold Mr. Kishen like that. They hold the corporation. You understand? But yes, Mr. Kishen will represent them. But if Mr. Kishen, if Mr. Kishen is the one who ate the money within the corporation, then they go after you and whatsoever. But if Mr. Kishen want to leave that corporation, he can leave. But this contract is signed by the group, because you're not the only person in there. There are other members in there. So you cannot take that group away with no consequences. You know what I'm saying? So that is the thing. So anybody can leave the CPP. Mr. Cummings can leave the CPP today and say, okay, I am going to go independent. Nobody can stop him. Mr. Bwaka can leave today and say, I'm going to go independent. Nobody can stop him. But according to your laws and your rules that you put together, from the day you sign that contract, you are answerable to CPP, and you are under the rules and regulation, and everything should be done properly. That is where Mr. Cummings catch you guys at. That is where Mr. Cummings beating your head and using you guys up today. In that same constitution, they say every political party must have a convention according to the rules and regulation, the laws of NEC. After you have a democratic convention, no matter which way you want to have it, if nobody there to go against you, it's no problem. But you must have a convention where people will vote and you will be nominated. That is why when UP did their convention in a way that I've never seen in my life, that is why Mr. Cummings complained, because it was against the laws of CPP. It was against the laws of CPP. Getting it? But they said, oh, Mr. Bwaka was already a standard bearer, and our convention supposed to be in 2022. You see, y'all see how they fool us. Y'all see how Liberians are so wicked. The so-called halfway educated people, because they think when you get degree, that means you too tap. And people who even set it up, those who say they get a doctorate, the masters, and whatsoever. Donald Trump in America, he's not the leader of the Republican Party. He's not even a standard bearer right now. When you are a standard bearer and you lose, you are not standard bearer again. If they want to still keep you and say, okay, you remember we appoint you to make you leader of the party, the chairman runs the party. But because Liberia, we are so corrupt, and we believe that the standard bearer before is the one who owned the party. He organized the party. It's not an institution. And I tell people every day, I will say it, if Mr. Cummings goes against the constitution of ANC, he will be suspended or he will be expelled. That is why he played by the rules of the party. If Mr. Cummings is not with ANC today, ANC must stand. ANC must move on. Yes, he might be the one who got the biggest money in the party, but there are other people there. You see? So that is why ANC is the number one well-organized political party in Liberia. Facts. I met a friend 3 days ago, a member of Unity Party. We met at Joseph Bwaka thing there, and we met in Trenton. And I respect him. I told him, I said, look, you long been arguing. He said, Mr. Kishan, he said, let me tell you, I will be honest with you. The fastest growing political party in Liberia is ANC. Upon this water will be my last. Coming from a Unity Party man. Then not somebody who lived in America 36 years. That's somebody who lived in Liberia and come America anytime. He said, so if anybody think that Mr. Cummings is not relevant, you're making a big mistake. He said, we know. That is why we want for Mr. Cummings to go as VP. You know, he still support his party. And we argue. And he said, he said, yeah, but we're going to go to the convention. I said, no, but other people don't want to. He said, no. He said, I hear people saying it, but as far as I'm concerned, I've not heard it from my political leader, Mr. Bwaka. But if they don't go to the convention, I will remain with CPP. I'm not going nowhere. He said, you think we don't know? He said, I look at this dude, I said, wow. He said, it was not organized because of Mr. Bwaka. It was not organized because of Mr. Bwaka. You know what I'm saying? So people coming up, you know, politics in Liberia is so desperate, it's so bad because the way we did it. All we know that when you take second place, that's the next person in line are you. Because you know why? All the politicians after election, they can take the exit. 22 political parties. Can anybody right now tell me where are all the other political leaders? Today we got 4 political parties, CPP. We got the CDC that made up of Congress for Democratic Change, National Patriotic Party, LPDP. Then you got the Prince Johnson Party, that 4, CPP that 8. Then you get Cassette Party coming on 9 political parties that is active when it comes to the general election for presidential general election. So the CPP made up of 4.5 because Prince Johnson leaning to them, so there will be 4-2. So 4 on this side, 4 on this side, that 8 plus Liberty Party. And then you get ALCOP that just came up again. You got the coalition, Rainbow Coalition, but we're not too sure they're there, but we don't know who is the political, they're not talking. So Liberians are looking at CPP and CDC. And you try to give up like that so quick, Liberians, do not give up. There are a lot of problems within the CDC. Don't worry about CDC. The time has not reached yet for CDC. CDC pretend that's the only people who can be dying and you think they're laughing. They die, but you think the man smiling, but he already died. So do not worry about if anybody tell you say CDC will win again, so be it. They won before, so they will still say they can win until they don't win again. But they don't know how they won. No CDJ can tell you how they won the election. They can't tell you. They don't tell you as if other people joined them to win. They don't tell you that. So don't worry about them. Concentrate on CPP. If CPP going to break up, you will know who break it up. You will know who broke it up. Ure said, and I quote, that anybody who break up the CPP, Liberians should go after them. That's what he said. He said it. You know, I have never been a fan of Bromsky, but I know Bromsky to be a good guy, a tough lawyer, a man who stands for certain things. If Bromsky was alive today, Mr. Bwaka would not say nothing. Mr. Bwaka will be nowhere around in this picture because Bromsky will put it right in his face. Bromsky will put it right in Mr. Bwaka's face because when Mr. Bromsky were calling them and telling them to come together and refuse and said, Ure should not be part of this thing, Mr. Bwaka brought Ure in. Today, this is the problem we're facing. But nobody wants to say the truth because of their own selfish thing. The so-called journalists we got, they don't want to speak the truth. That is why I say one of my best journalists, my best number one journalist in this business is Afonso from the Liberian Public Radio. He's objective. You don't even know what side he's on. But all the other journalists, they got side, they're taking side so they can speak the truth. So the truth don't come from out of their mouth because they don't even know. They don't know what is right. In America, MSNBC is a liberal radio station. They lean to the Democrat, but when they're ready to tell the Democrat the damn truth. Fox, they are Republican. They sometimes when too much, they just voice it up. You know what I'm saying? Our journalists are nothing. They're supposed to educate them. They should be brave enough. Leaders speak last. I don't know what sense Dillon have. I don't know. I expected Dillon to be a very smart man. Yes, he's smart. But I think when it comes to corrupt, when it comes to his own selfish thing, he do whatever he want to do. He blocked people from his list. He turned against people who supported him. He have not blocked me yet. He have not blocked me yet because I saw a post from him on one of my pictures last month. So he has not blocked me yet. But Dillon continues. I said, Dillon, you cannot be the one to speak out. You cannot get up and say things. People follow you. You should be the last. Bena Ure coming up and say you supporting Mr. Bwaka in the early stage, you create the problems. 4 parties come together to contest. Then the other leaders then coming up to support another one when they have not even tried. They have not started the process yet. That was a betrayal. Let's say, let's turn it the other way. Let's turn it the other way. Mr. Ure running and Mr. Bwaka running. In fact, I'm not going to go that far. In the 2017 election, UP guys today are saying because Mr. Cummings did not endorse Mr. Bwaka publicly, that is why UP lost the election. That is why UP lost the election. That's what they said. But Liberty, ALP was ANC took what 5th place. But today they're blaming Mr. Cummings for their defeat. Now, in the CPP, let's say Mr. Cummings was not running. And Mr. Cummings said, okay, say you are running and the other guy running, I will support Mr. Bwaka. How you will feel? Leaders don't just come out and speak. This one again, we should put it in your head. You say you went to school, you big man. That's some of the mistake you're making in life. The common man can say what they want to say. When you get to the point, when you reach to that point, you almost to the finish line, then you make a decision and say, you know what? I have seen the light. I know exactly whose is better. Then I will come up and support. But we have not started the consensus building. We never went to the VPS. Bam. In fact, Mr. Ure supported and gave his support to Mr. Bwaka before the document was even put together. Yeah. You see how wicked? Yet said Mr. Cummings said, no problem. No problem. No problem. You know what I'm saying? And every one of them felt that if Mr. Cummings go to the convention and he don't win, he will back off. I remember the guy from Spoon asking me, we're sitting all talking, he said, Mr. Kishen, how you guys going to manage? Liberty Party said they're going to support Mr. Bwaka. ALP said they're going to support Mr. Bwaka. You left alone. There is no way you can win. I said, no problem. Let us go to the convention. Let us go to the convention. One man, you see, if you've been following Liberian politics, the leader can endorse a candidate. It doesn't mean that the leader is going to force the other people to vote. In 2005, Alhaji Koroma, Vani Shemo, most of the guys went and endorsed, what his name? George Weah. Snorter went the other way. People voted the way they wanted to vote. You know what I'm saying? So the leader that only one vote is almost, that's why I tell people when you run a campaign in the market, don't go to the Liberian Marketing Association. The Liberian Marketing Association has nothing over the marketeers. The marketeers vote in different places, or sometimes they might vote in a market if they put up a polling center there. You get me? So we believe in the Liberian people that whether Mr. Brums and Ure can come up and say, I'm going to support Mr. Bwaka, I still has the right to campaign and to talk to other delegates to make my case. If Yombli say I'm going to support them, I still got the right to make my case. Oh no, we're not supposed to. Since Yombli is supporting Mr. Bwaka, ANC has no right to go talk to anybody in Liberty Party. ANC don't have no right to take any members. Don't you know that any political party has the right to take a member for any political party? Don't you know there is nothing in the document say, don't come to my party and take members. I got a right to go into your party and say, Dylan, I like you, come and join my party. My man, you in that party don't have nothing to do. Come and join this party. It is our right under the Constitution. There are no church house running. Damn greedy people. Eh? Y'all think we're stupid? Y'all think Liberians will remain like this? The destiny of our country is in our hands, and it's in your hands. I will vote at only one vote. Only one vote. My daughter found my voting card the other day. Anyway, you see this? I always show you this is my Liberian license. This is my Liberian license here. The one. Republic of Liberia. That's my Liberian license. Stay valid. So it's only one vote. So I'm asking you, please. Don't let this CPP thing go over your head. Don't put nobody over Liberia. Yombli fighting for herself. Dylan fighting for herself. Dylan is that one that really getting to me. And it is my right to criticize them. They are public officials. Dylan now today justifying $30,000 to run his office. But yesterday he refused it when the pressure was on him. But now he justified because he said, he gave you the finger. I got 9 years job. After the 9 years, I will be settled. I don't care. Guess who made that statement one time? Senator Yala. Senator Yala said, well, that's your business. After settle down, 9 years, I'll be okay. When you look, he wanted to run, bam. He went to CDC, start begging CDC. You know what I'm saying? Start begging CDC. So why are we blaming ANC? Mr. Cummings, ANC has the right to go to Liberty Party. UP has the right to go to Liberty Party to look for delegates. The two candidates have the right to go to all the parties that are not running. You don't have no. Okay, let me ask them. Let me say this hypothetical. Let me just say, let the devil advocate. Why today, if Unity Party pull up a candidate, ANC pull up a candidate, ALP pull up a candidate, Liberty Party pull up again, 4 candidates, and the 4 parties supposed to do what? Bring 310 delegates. How are they going to do it? How are they going to do it? That is why in the document it said you must have access to all the delegates to convince them. So I will be talking to your delegates, you will be talking to my delegates. The delegates will decide. Oh, listen, you get, I hope you're getting what I'm saying. Let's assume that the 4 parties got somebody. They all pull up a candidate. Yombly want to be the standard bearer. She had to be negotiating. Mr. Ure want to be standard bearer. You have to negotiate with all the other candidates, all the other delegates. Mr. Cummings will have to do the same thing. And that's it. And that's the whole deal. That's the whole deal. Eh? That is the whole deal. Eh? Okay, thank you, Kelvin, and I pray that you remain on this page and don't go nowhere. I am glad you're listening to me. Facts. Cummings listened to Ellen in 2017 and he refused to give JMB his support, but now he is the most qualified man in the room. So thanks for recognizing that he's the most qualified man. So JMB can support Cummings because we are stupid. Okay, if you think you're stupid, I appreciate it. You asking the question, that question goes to you. We will support and carry our own kind who is sexually strict and traditional oriented within our culture. Cummings with a strange attitude, and he's in bed with Ellen and they will eat his monies and refused Cummings. Thank you very much. And Kelvin, I hope you stay and watch me. Let me educate you a little bit because you know you out of track, you far out of touch. You don't know nothing about Liberia politics, so you only speaking out of emotion. But you know what time is it? It's 10:48. So just sit and watch me. You know what I'm saying? I brought it up so people will see it because when it's small, and a lot of people won't see it. So you see, that is you, the kind of people I love to see. You believe that Mr. Cummings, maybe you try to hide the word gay. So you talk about it. Now you try to bring about traditional. That is why nobody can win election if you bring out about tribal business. You will never ever win election in Liberia. Let me make you to understand today. If any politician who come out and try to tell me you more traditional, you more Liberian than the other person, you will never win. Go back to history. It never happened before. That is why Mr. Bromskin attacked Joseph Boakai in 2017 when he said that their group was the most traditional candidate. They had number one. All the other people were Congo people. That is why Mr. Bromskin said Ellen failed to reunite the country because of a vice president who believed only that country, he believed in a country and Congo thing, that the other people are Congo, and he's the traditional guy, he's the countryman. That is why he will not win election. Even if we take today, we say, let it be, he will be a liability to us because you know what? He will only go to Lofa County to campaign and he will not even win Lofa County like how he wanted before. You see, we'll try to take him to the southeast. He will say, I can't go there. I will not go there because these people are not my people. The people in Maryland are Congo people. The people in Sano, they're almost like Maryland or so. I'm not going there. He will go to Nimba County because he will look at his thing. He think that the other counties, they be him. So, my brother, you don't know what you just said. But let me pull it up again for you to see for yourself. To understand that sometimes, you see, social media is nothing to play with. What you just put here, it looks so nice. Nice story. But you know, I enjoy, he said, Mr. Cummings, he is the most qualified man in the room. I appreciate that. He's the most qualified man. But he refused to support Mr. Bwaka, but he voted for Mr. Bwaka. Did Bromskin endorse Mr. Bwaka the last election? No. Darius Dillon, who's supporting Bwaka, did Darius Dillon endorse Mr. Bwaka the last election? No, but he voted for Mr. Bwaka. Yombly voted against Bwaka for George Weah. Zango voted for George Weah against Mr. Bwaka, although they came from the same Lofa County. The other senator, so Liberty Party split. So when you think you will come and play the native, the Congo, the this and that, you out of track begin. Because in Liberia, it's so sad that when you get small money, you Congo man. When you get other one, you Congo man. When you do this one year, you Congo man, you elite and this and that. That is shameful. And look at Kelvin Tage. Kelvin Tage. The name sound Congo, my brother. The name Tage sound Congo. Which part of Maryland, Liberia, that this name sound like a traditional name? The name Kelvin. No Loma man named Kelvin. No countryman named Kelvin. No, only somebody who got some slave background. My name is Kisha. My father is a Lebanese. I was born and raised in Liberia. So you can call me any way you want to call me. But the name, because of name, you label other people as Congo, as this. Like you look at a man who say his name is Sam Jackson, but he a Bassa man, but he said other put a Congo. But the Sam Jackson name is not a Bassa name. Kelvin Tage is not a native name. Shame on you, man. Shame on you. Have a good day and listen to me. Don't leave. I want you to listen to me. Maybe you might change from here. We all can do it together. You get me? We all can get on this thing and make it right for our country. Yeah? Yes, Job. You say, I know it's not part of your topic, but just a question. What the relationship between our VP and President Weah? They should be working together as Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Okay, I'm a little confused. Okay, you're talking about, look, they like in Liberia. I know. Let me just answer your question, Joe. You know, Liberia is so strange. It's up to the president. If I was closer to President Weah, I think President Weah, let's forget about Joel being Charles Taylor's ex-wife. But I think President Weah had a very good, sound, educated vice president to do most of the work. But you see, when you don't trust each other, that is why they say you must trust the person you bring in. Ellen Johnson trusted Bwaka, but Bwaka has serious problem with Ellen, according to when you read the book that Amara put together, that Mr. Bwaka has 17 different things against Ellen Johnson. So he was just there sitting, but he was not happy. You getting it? So, and Joel Howard Taylor, other people say, oh, don't bring Joel closer because if Joel might anything happen, that NPP going to take over. So they had all that stupid Rick Monroe, and he want to do everything and continue to strip her off every little thing because people told him that don't let her come closer. She's an NPP woman. NPP want to overthrow you, so they brought that friction. You see? So George, we have selected Joel based on what? Not of the record working relationship, based on winning, to win. They were supposed to divide these jobs, 40% to George, we had 30% to NPP, another one. But what happened? They took everything and she did it. So the working relationship, you know, if you just like what Yombly is doing right now, if they take Yombly because that she imposed herself, oh, because I'm the leader, you taking me, it's always a problem when it comes to two of them. But if you give the president, the standard bearer, the opportunity, because that's what the Constitution says, and that what that what the CPP document is saying. CPP document says that the standard bearer will select his or her vice standard bearer in 90 days, but they must come from within the CPP. So the standard bearer can go into Liberty Party, ALP, and select any of the members, the floor member. The floor, they don't be standard bearer. They don't have to be. That's the good thing about it. Because when you select the political leader, it is a problem. You see what happened today in this place Zambia when they had an election. The opposition, when they came together, the lady who's the vice president, she from another party. So she was not selected by this guy. This man had an appointment to see Joe Biden. While he was in America, on his way to America, she went there and started to speak against gays and whatsoever. And guess what? Gay rights, almost like a human right. They denied the guy. They canceled the trip. They canceled the appointment, the meetings. You see? So you get what she said different thing. He's saying different thing. At the end of the day, they could not work together. You see? So I just sorry that Joelle and her husband, her president, they look, they got a serious. Don't let nobody fool you. Joelle now just have to do the job that she's doing. That's it. Joelle have to do it. Sometimes I really want to get into this Congo and native people thing. Liberia was on a prosperous path, but the native people decided they want to rule their so-called land. But look at what kind of mess we have been in since they took over the country. Native women born soldier. Look back. Who opened pregnant woman's stomach? Who ate human hearts? Who raped and murdered innocent people during the war? John Williams, you are 100% right. If we cannot speak the truth like what you just said, when you say these things, the people say you Congo. When you say things like this, they say you don't like the country because you're saying it. Congo woman and native woman born soldier, Congo woman born road. Then we came out. You say you came a man, you came a power. Who killed these people? Who opened guts? Today, who's in charge? Since our native people took over Liberia, we suppress our own people. It's almost like, the good thing is that slaves never left from Liberia, but they sent the slaves to Liberia. Who sold the slaves? The black man sold their brothers and sisters to the white man. In South Africa, who killed the black people? It was the same police, black, that they sent to do it. Who killed Patrice Lumumba? He was killed by the Belgian, but by whom? By the citizen of Zaire, Patrice Lumumba. And how they kill him? They cut him off piece by piece and put him in the drum and burn the body. And at last they realized that Patrice Lumumba was a hero, brought that country together. And who was Kenneth Kaunda? It was the Ghana from Zaire at the time. What is his name? Kenneth Kaunda, yeah. He was the chief of staff by then in the army. He succumbed to the white people, the Belgians, and later on he became president. So you see, we do all these things to ourselves. Today, look what's going on. People are dying. Mysterious death. We're doing all kinds of things to each other. But the only people that can bring our country back together are the leaders. But the leaders are fighting over themselves. They only dare to bring the look at like today. Ellen Johnson admitted, I failed to stop corruption, to minimize corruption, and I failed to unite the Liberian people. She admitted. But look what happening today, President. We are only there to serve seditions. President Weah do not speak, have never spoken to the people of Liberia from the day he became president. He goes into his church. So even as a Liberian, if you don't support President Weah, how will you go to President Weah church? They will boo you. How can you go to President Weah program? They will boo you. He did it in District 17. He booed Hassan Kewu. He made them to boo Hassan Kewu. Hassan Kewu as an opposition went there to say yes, the president. So every other people will say, we're not going to go to where the president, because he will not put Liberia first. When time for politics is politics. But from the day they took over, they have been campaigning. So you see, all these things here, how we work together. So who bring the division? It's not amongst us. When you get a president who throw names, you weaponizing, you arming your members to go against other people, to insult people on internet. Now today, people turning back the insults on George Weah because they saw sedition insulting other people. But people get pissed off and say, oh, why are you cursing these people? I'm not endorsing it. But when one side do it, the other side learn it, and they're cursing each other. You getting it? Do you think I'm happy to see Yeke disturbing and talking nonsense? But yesterday, when I say yesterday, I mean years back, Buffer Chimos was in the same position like Yeke, although he was not cursing like Yeke. But Buffer Chimos was in the same position like Yeke against Ellie Johnson. That Ellie Johnson is signing her resignation letter, telling policemen to get from out of here. Will never call you when they were demonstrating, saying that the people right to demonstrate. But today they don't want it. Always the revolutionaries are the one who suppress the people. They come into power, they broke, they try to say, oh yes, they're fighting for this, but by the time they get there, they use hard hands and it's over. They don't even do nothing much. They suppress everybody because they enjoy power. Today, our president enjoying his best life. He's the president. Whether you like it, you don't like it, he's the president. Today, he enjoying a life that he have never enjoyed when he was a soccer player making millions of dollars. He have never purchased certain cars in his life when he was making $1 million. He never had an Aston Martin before. He never purchased it. We all know the cars that George Weah bought in his life, and Mercedes-Benz and Honda and BMW. We know that. And a Hammer. But today, President Weah can get any car he want to get. But we say, oh man, the man had the money, he was keeping it. Who will get money to keep and wait for the day for him to be president? Then they use it. Today, our president used, how they call that bike? The one with the 3 tires and all custom made, customized everything with the name money. Yes. That is not necessary. That is not a priority. We see it, enjoy it. We don't even, the first thing, we don't have a road. So one day, don't be surprised, they might clear the entire boulevard and say the president going to drive his little car. He want to take a race. And, you know, they will clear the street because so the president of the Republic, also to be protected, will be in his car, because that car, for you to enjoy it, you must drive it yourself. It's a motorbike, but 3 tires. You understand? So you must sit in the got it, or you must sit in it and you ride. Nobody going to ride for him. So he got the security guiding him, and to see the beauty of it must be open during the summertime, like bro, you know. So right now he's driving it in. He drove it in his compound, you know, where they get on the bill, on the large houses. He enjoying it right now. So this not is distraction. All this thing is distraction. Do not post on it. Do not post about what George Weah wearing. It's not important to us right now. What George Weah eating, what kind of clothes he put on, it is not important. Just talk a little bit and let it go. Why are you doing it? Other president, when certain cars people take to Liberia, the president sees it. They believe that in Africa, they believe, in fact, in Liberia, believe that the president must be the only person to use certain cars. So don't let it bother you. There's time for everything. But there are more issues in Liberia today that we're supposed to talk about. Our healthcare, our schools. Look at our clinics. Look at our people. Christmas time, we stay struggling. People are struggling. People going to Liberia, you spend more money than you always spend in Liberia. People begging you, and the kind of people that even begging, they now they want to say, you know, in America, when somebody begging you, you can know that they are beggars. In Liberia, the one that are begging, they all dress up. They beg you. You think they have it? No. You see the man walking fast. You think he's stomach running? No, his stomach not running. He rushing to reach somebody to see before the person leave. So you leave the whole George Weah car business, people posting, the sending all the nonsense. I didn't want to hear about it. I don't want to hear. I want to talk about Liberty Party thing because I'm so pissed off for Dillon. I would not sit for Dillon to accuse us. I'm not here to promote myself. I'm here for Mr. Cummings. I'm begging you, see reason. Everybody who say Mr. Cummings that Congo man that they want to win all law of Liberia. You know what I'm saying? All these people talk about Congo, Congo. When you get money, you Congo. You go to school, you Congo. Eh? You think we say get Congo in Liberia? And sedition talk about Congo. When you look around President Weah, you see the same position that Congo do. You get Charles Brett, you get Emmanuel Shaw, you get Achibo Bonar around President Weah. You get the Minister of Agriculture, Kopo. You got all these people, and you got a Randolph Kopo then. And they are Congo people. Then how you consider that Congo people? Oh, so my people, please concentrate on the real issue. CPP is not running the government. CPP is not making changes in government. They're not collecting taxes. Talk to your representatives. Open your eyes. There's a deal that everybody complains about mental steel. People, the international community don't know they're watching you. They want to see how Liberians going to react. If you don't solve your problem, you'll never solve it yourself. If you're waiting for the white man to come and solve it, they say, oh, and Mr. Prince Johnson is indicted, oh, censure Prince Johnson for corruption. They say people jumping all the place. I don't give a damn whether Prince Johnson can be on censure. I don't give a damn about it. I don't give a damn about Prince Johnson, whether he on censure or not. Prince Johnson just posted, he made us say, he said, if that because of George Weah, I'd rather die, I'm prepared to die. That's the business. Prince Johnson had reached to the point, according to his age, Prince Johnson know that he would die. Let me tell you what people are killed. People who, when they're in charge, they know that they will die. When they die, they die. So they're not afraid to be bad. They're not afraid to do. Prince Johnson, no, I don't need to go to America. I don't need to travel to America. I will stay right in Liberia. I will go to Nigeria and whatsoever. Maybe by the time they come to me, my life be over. Bernard Ure can say, I can be vice president. I don't need to go to Liberia. I can even be president of Liberia. They will give me a restricted visa. America will not stop you from going to the United Nations. They will give you a restricted visa and he will still come to the state. So it makes no difference. So these are not the things we should waste our mind on. I'm not going to waste my time on war crime code. We need a war crime code and we say it and I it. That is why I'm supporting Mr. Cummings. If they don't do it, the war crime code will come to pass one day. If they don't audit nobody under Mr. Cummings' administration, we will audit people. If you, because of that, you want to vote for Mr. Cummings, no problem. If you think because Mr. Cummings' administration will audit your people, then don't be with them. Don't be with them. Don't vote for Mr. Cummings. If you think Mr. Cummings will give you job because you're not qualified and he's not going to do it, then you don't need to support Mr. Cummings if that is what you're looking for. But the truth, and let us put Liberia first. You can go to Liberia and do different things. You can go to Liberia and help. You can go to Liberia where when they say $10, when they say $10, it's $10. And when they tell you, say you're going to pay your $10 taxes, you pay it and you enjoy yourself. You will get police. Anytime you will see people coming over to you. Ayuba Kamara, who financed their gave arms to the native. Now the white man. Now the white man, nobody else. Unity Party thought they was going to use Cummings. Cummings is not your Nukwe. It's 100% right. Because they did it to Nukwe. And the funny part, guess what they did to Nukwe? And Nukwe still had his party. Kelvin, okay, somebody just answer Kelvin. Kelvin Tage, your nasty politics will not take JNB anywhere but the grave. You're right to answer him. You heard what it, Kelvin? That because your statement you made was very, 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 very unpatriotic. I understand. It's not a patriotic comment. So I hope you learn from it. Okay, what Kevin say again? Cummings will destroy our country tradition by signing the gay rights in our country. Cummings is a gay, and he admitted that on national TV. I am not playing native. Don't lie on me. Okay, Kelvin, une gay, ready no gay. Apparently, you are a gay, Kelvin, because I'm still trying to search for this wonderful tip that Mr. Cummings admitted. You know, it's sad to show that you talk about traditional. The traditional people do not disrespect people. Mr. Cummings been married for almost for 40 years now with 2 kids, a decent family. And maybe Kelvin, you live somewhere, maybe you're gay. That's how you know Mr. Cummings are gay. But I wish I could see this tip to say, to look and see which at same session for where Mr. Cummings and said that he's a gay. And you know, it's surprising to me that Ellen Johnson's son, Robert Salif, that everybody knows that to be a gay. Nobody knew that Robert Salif was a gay until he went to Liberia. And what he did, he put a football team together first and started to bring the young children just to sleep with them. Cummings being in Liberia. In fact, Robert Salif was in Liberia. His first year, everybody knew he was a gay. Mr. Cummings being in Liberia, that you would never ever even to find. You know, Cummings remind me of Barack Obama. Yes, you would never ever find someone to say that Cummings man get 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 girlfriend or one. He got a wife. That is the beauty of Mr. Cummings. So let me tell you today, you can call Mr. Cummings gay. You can call Mr. Cummings whatsoever you want to call him. Mr. Cummings is the most qualified and most prepared Liberian in the history of our country. He's a patriot. He went abroad. He studied. He make his money. Honestly, it almost like George, we are winning the war best. Cummings today is still recognized out there as one of the most successful Liberians. One of the most successful, I'm not saying he's the most out there, who got a name out there for himself. And Joseph Newman Boaka will never, because he's already in the old age. That's why I can say never. If he was a young man, I would say no. But for now, I can say that the name that Cummings got outside internationally, Boaka don't have it. People only know Mr. Boaka when he was VP. The only thing people know out there, oh yeah, Joseph Boaka was VP for 12 years in Liberia. So they would know him. That is how Mr. Boaka met people to take pictures because he was VP. But Mr. Cummings have taken pictures with war leaders all around. So thank you, Kelvin. Remain on here, listen to the show. Mr. Cummings is a gay. He's not a gay. Maybe you are a gay. So Kelvin is a gay, my people. Let us be honest. Because when they gay, no gay, they say when they ninja can kill a ninja. I don't know how gay look like. Let me tell you a real truth. But let me look at your structure good and see. Maybe I will know again now how they looking. You know. So let me just look at your structure perfectly and see. You know, it's sad to see Liberians disrespecting decent people. Decent people. Gay don't hide itself, my brother. Let me tell you, Kelvin. Gay, when it comes to gay, they don't hide their feelings. Yeah, you won't believe it. Okay. It's so, let me see. Kelvin, yeah. You requested a friendship from me. You see, when I click on there, they're asking me to approve you. You requested a friendship, Kelvin. I thought you were a decent guy. So let me just hold on to your friendship here. And you got 69 mutual friends, people who follow you. Your friends are 69. And let me see. The man who finger. Oh, I see. You see, this is Kelvin profile. You see Mr. Cummings, the author of the picture, the guy Mr. Cummings with the police holding him. The man who fingered the document. Yeah. He said the man who finger CPP framework has finally been arrested. So these are the people then who send false information on and make it look, and they carry it. And Kelvin, this is what Kelvin get. But guess what now? Kelvin know I support Mr. Cummings, but Kelvin requesting for a friendship. Listen, I'm not lying. Y'all see it? Y'all see friend request. When I click on it, it asks me, can you confirm it? And can you confirm it? So I just deny his friendship because I can't follow people like you, Kelvin. But stay on my stage. Just be a follower. I would prefer you to be a follower than to be a friend. You know what I'm saying? So keep it that way, my brother. But y'all see a page? Y'all see a Sonny? Y'all see Mr. Cummings in the middle? uh, yeah. Oh, and guess why again? Heron Costa follower too. He's a one of the surrogates of Heron Costa. Yeah. So you just got 69 francs, my brother. You missed the one, so it'll be 70, but I'll turn you down. So you see, I'm not here to ready and waste my time on you. So just say that I will educate you a little bit, and Kelvin, don't go nowhere. Don't go nowhere. I will educate you on something. I know it's not good. We talked about that already. Let me just go through the comments and see. Somebody just so Kelvin, what's about JNB who was VP to Ellen for 12 years? and how JMB was to what JMB was and Ellen vice president for 12 years. All he did was to honor Ellen. So Ellen could not even bring Liberians together. So they kept it apart. They kept it apart, Congo and country. Yeah, that's what they did. But at the same time, JMB had all the opportunities to argue with Ellen Johnson to make sure that they pave Lofa County Road. If I'm a vice president to you, I will make sure that my road going to Maryland, you will fix it. Because I will tell you, I say, Mr. President, you don't expect me to leave office and the roads are all bad. But what happened? Mr. Bwaka ever fought for Lofa County? No, he did not. So the people know now. That's why they're telling Mr. Bwaka to retire and get out of politics. They got other young people, they got other people, they get Cassette and all of them fighting right now. Eh? I'm just sorry, they don't even know. Yeah, Bwaka was in bed with Ellen for 12 years. That's the fact. That's the fact. That's the fact. Watching from Canada, James Colley Jr. Welcome, my brother. So true, leaders speak. Lets people know, but are not aware. That's the fact. We will say the truth. They like it, they don't like it. They will just happy. They just like it. They don't trust coming, but they are begging him to be vice president. In fact, they don't trust him. They don't want him. They think that he nuke. If I were you, I would be worried about the old man's health. That's the fact. And Rochelle, they need to worry about him instead of saying all kinds of things about Mr. Cummings. Liberia resolved there was someone different, they will vote Cummings in office. Man, they will fight. Listen, don't overlook Liberians. We will do exactly what we need to do. Oh, Kelvin, you are wasting your time, morning ball. Liberians are resolved to
Who's
vote.
Kevin?
Okay, Kelvin, my name is not Morning Ball. My name is Munir. But even if you want to call me Morning Ball, it's M-O-U. Say,
Who's
I'm
Kevin?
not talking to you.
Who's Kevin? Who's Kevin?
You don't know Kelvin, and I'm your friend.
He's your friend.
Eh? My son
Anyways.
talking to me because he got a friend named Kelvin. He want to know that the Kelvin is
Anyways,
talking.
who's Kevin?
My son want to know. So it's Mouni. It's Mooney Ball. not Money. But I appreciate it. Maybe I'll get a lot of money in the future, so no problem. Okay, Kelvin, you all over the place, man. Since he relevant, let him go with his ANC and see what happened. But Kelvin, I'm going to the comment on Kelvin. You know, you contradicting, you confusing everybody here. We into a collaboration. You guys are saying that Mr. Bwaka was so popular, and UP is so big. Who really forced you into this collaboration? When Bromsky brought the three together, Bromsky himself and Mr. Cummings came together. While Mr. Bwaka couldn't say, no, I'm not joining nobody. Eh? You see, you acting like somebody who don't know a damn thing. Why Mr. Cummings will go on his own when we're in a group that if Mr. Cummings leave, ANC will not participate. ANC will not go on their own because of the document that says that you cannot go on your own after this. And two, we don't want to break it because we spend too much time promoting CPP. We opened the offices for CPP in all the counties. Nobody did it. We went through all the hardship. You want us to go start over? Then you leave, since you're so popular, leave along with Uri or whosoever, and then see if they will win for you will win. You know, you're stopping, you live in a fantasy world, you live in denial. That it can't work, but I enjoy you. I want you to stay there and continue to make your comments, my brother. I appreciate it, good. But since you guys don't learn how to act like a patriot, then we will teach you. Yeah. Ruth Franklin. Okay. Robert Taylor is watching. Emmanuel from all the way Boston. Emmanuel Jackson, how are you, my brother? Money boy, the truth, that true. Thank you, Harvey. Just start calling money boy. Anyway, I will make plenty of money. Uh, I am here watching. Uh, yes, Thomas Harvey, that was a nice production. Thank you very much. I appreciate Harvey. And I wish you guys a Merry Christmas. Yeah. Alex Nimley. Okay. There are a lot of comments. And look, we have to be serious here. Anyway, I know it. I have to be serious here. If only you, if only we now admire this new nation of Rwanda, we need to start thinking like their president. And let me be honest with you, you know, one of the leaders that Mr. Cummings admire, one of his admire when it comes to leadership right now, the new leaders, Mr. Cummings admire the guy of Rwanda. And in fact, it's Mr. Cummings, he's friend to Mr. Cummings. Mr. Cummings talked to, look, let me tell you guys, let pray to God, let Cummings be the standard bearer. Liberians will understand. CDC will know the power this time around. Do you know why we had to go, we had to start over? You see, starting over is not a failure. When Mr. Cummings came into politics 18 months before the election, all the mistakes that we made and all the things that we're supposed to do, we had to go back to the drawing board and had to go back to reintroduce Mr. Cummings to the people. Don't let nobody scare you if say nobody know Mr. Cummings. That's a lie. How long it take you to know? How people, no one will know Mr. Cummings when Cummings' name is in the newspaper every day in Liberia on radio station. People talking about Mr. Cummings, but still the so-called politician, the so-called educated, the corrupt ones, nobody know Cummings. Mr. Bwaka is popular. Yes, people will know Mr. Bwaka because he was vice president for 12 years. But what people would not accept that Mr. Bwaka was vice president for 12 years under a corrupt regime. And they put us into the mess we're in today. And Mr. Bwaka refused to accept it to move on. If you can accept the failures and the good, then Liberian people will consider you. But if you cannot accept the failures of where you work, and you were part of the second man in command on the boat, on the body, said Ellen and Joseph and Joe, Johnson and Bwaka. Eh? So tell me, you got to accept it. You got to accept it. I would tell him, he said, just tell your beloved son that Kelvin is a misguided cartoon character. My son said, Daddy, who's Kelvin you talking about? Kelvin, don't worry. Stay here. You might have a different thoughts when you leave. Teresa Flomo, good morning. How are you, man? Yeah, so don't worry. And okay, we got. Let me see. And Henry Yango, I'm not a fan of Mr. Cummings, but between him and Papa Joe, Henry, I know you're not a fan of Mr. Cummings, but let me. I am not a fan of Mr. Cummings, but between him and Papa GNB, I would prefer Mr. Cummings because I has a clean, okay, he has a clean hands in the Liberian politics, and I strongly believe he can call for the both courts in Liberia. But I hope he can put Liberians and Liberia first and also try to run without the CPP because those guys, those are not have anything to show to the country. Listen, you now that you're not making mistake, it happened to everybody when you type in you try to bump, you try to get what you might you driving and typing or so. But I agree with you. And we already in the water. They say when you're in the water, you don't worry about getting wet. That's the thing. If you're there, you're not worried about getting wet. So we already there. We're going to show our people. We're going to stand by what we sign. We're going to stand by it. You understand? We're going to stand by it. And guys, I'm still asking for my Christmas gift. I'm still asking for my Christmas gift. Let me put my Cash App up. I told you, and I want to say thanks to, anyway, they said I shouldn't call his name, but I want to say thanks to a friend who sent me some money. And at least Liberians, my friends in Liberia, when I say friends, I'm not talking about the big boys. I'm talking about the common guys will be able to have a good Christmas. I've been trying my best. And this Christmas, let us put a smile on the face of someone. Let us just smile. Let us make other people feel good. $10, $5. So it's not easy. I've been trying. I got to give my kids Christmas. I got to give my family Christmas. And I will be honest with you, when the Christmas I have given out already, if I'm not mistaken, because I think it's almost six something. Some people got 30, some people got 75, some people got 15, some people got 20. And today I sent $75. I sent 25 through a same wave. And, some people, and I just from the same WhatsApp. And the good thing is that I'm not sending it to people. My wife in Liberia right now, by the grace of God, she'll be back. And some people got shites, some people got t-shirts. I was able to say, yeah, my friend called me, he said, "Big bro, you know my size." I said, "But then you lock it because I thought it was coming to be too big or too small." And I tell people when you're giving people gift, you should like it. Yeah. And some pastors, look, it's sad. For us, one thing I'm happy for my kids. They don't worry about Christmas since 2018 when I came back from Liberia. And when I explained to them and they saw some pictures, they will still get a gift, but they're not concerned. If I give it to other people, it's good because they live in a country where they can get it anytime. But our people back there, be a blessing to somebody. Don't, this is my first time asking in a sense that it's hard, it's tough. I can't help everybody. But that day, $20, same wave, can put food on your table. You know what I'm saying? That day, $10, maybe you eat, you can find something to eat on that day. And what they get, there's a girl who and Darius, they don't always go to that again in the wheelchair. Well, and he says Sandra and Beatrix. And these are the people that we need to help. It's not that they can't help themselves, but they can see the effort. I'm not saying you should give the money to some Zogo who just taking drugs or whatsoever. No, that's not what I'm talking about. But they got other people who really need it. They got people who need it. Don't look at everybody on Facebook from Liberia. You think they're all that. They need it, they call you. Yeah. Friends call every day, not to say they ask, but they tell you you gave them 25. They bless you as if you gave them millions. You gave them 50. They're so happy because they don't they didn't ask for it. It's not a one who can call you and harass you and harass you. I got most of that. They look at it as surprise them. I look at things and surprise you. That's what you do. So I'm asking you, give him a Christmas. Give him a Christmas, and then so I'm going to play. I'm going to go to commercial. I'm going to play the agenda, the 5 whats and how of Mr. Cummings. I want you to open your eyes and look at it. Listen to him. See what sense it makes. There's something that he been talking about, the same thing, and he's consistent, and he stays saying it today. And in fact, he upgraded it. He's not into the business that you must make him president. He's not saying that I'm looking for a job. God bless him. God bless his family. I don't care whether Mr. Cummings got money, that his money, the money for him. But let us come together when you want to see a better Liberia. That is your man. That's the only candidate with a blueprint. That's the only man who telling you how our country is supposed to work. We can do it together. We can fight corruption, stealing. We can fight it. We can minimize it. We will audit people. We will do things that nobody. He's not a typical politician. According, he's a technocrat. He loves Liberians. He put Liberia first. That is why Mr. Cummings do not hire foreigners to do his work. I'm telling you, Mr. Cummings he don't go to people that say, join my party so you can work for me. No, you don't need to join CDC and ANC. But see reason you live in this country, call your people back home. You in Liberia and you know you're going through hardship. Don't let them fool you. Don't fall in love with politicians. Don't. So guys, please sit back and listen to this again. This is from no other person but Alexander B. Cummings, the next president of the Republic of Liberia.
Chicken they grow for day.
The oldest republic in Africa. And yet, we're one of the least developed countries on the continent, and indeed one of the least developed countries in the world. And I say to you, my fellow Liberians, we deserve a better Liberia. We need to ask ourselves some fundamental questions. Why are we where we are? Most Liberian homes don't have electricity. Most Liberian homes don't have running water. Most Liberians are unemployed. These are things we can change. These are things we should demand of ourselves and of our leaders. We, as Liberians, cannot keep doing the same things and expect different results. We cannot keep electing and selecting the same kinds of leaders with the same kinds of experiences and expect Liberia to change. We have to do many things differently. And that starts with selecting and electing new leaders who know how to create jobs, who know how to grow the economy, who will prioritize the Liberian people first before they prioritize themselves. And this is what I offer you, the Liberian people. The other universal truth that I want to share with you, my fellow Liberians, is the best predictor of future performance and future behavior is past performance and past behavior. And again, I ask you to look at my record of job creation, of success, of managing large budgets without one penny going missing. All of these things you can look at and compare to the other candidates. And again, you will see that my past performance and past behavior is a good predictor, a good indicator that what I commit to, we will deliver. There are 5 priorities we have, and we call that the what's. And then there are 5 things we call the how we'll do it. And those priorities are as follows. Our first priority is infrastructure. Simply put, it's electricity, it's roads, it's water, and it's internet and cell phone connectivity across Liberia. We have to invest in infrastructure. That is the top priority. That's the basis on which we can and will do everything else. The second priority for us is job creation. There are too many unemployed, underemployed, and unemployable Liberians. The unemployment rate is over 85%. And therefore, job creation is our next priority, creating jobs for the Liberian people. Our next priority is agriculture. We are a country that do not fear ourselves. These are things we can do for ourselves. We should be producing rice to feed ourselves. And my commitment is that by the end of my first term in office, we will be self-sufficient in rice production. And within education, we are focused on vocational training, teachers training, and adult education. But we have to educate our young people because, again, that's how we can help them create jobs. That's how we can train farmers. And so these things are all linked together. And our final priority in terms of the what's is health. Because you can have good infrastructure, you can have a good job, you can feed yourself, you can have great education, but if you don't have your health, it doesn't matter. And so health is our 5th priority, and there we're focused on primary health care and preventive health care. So those are the what's we'll do for our people, for the Liberian people. How are we going to do these things? The first how is we want to engage Liberians differently in the transformation of our country. We call this hearts and minds. How do we get all Liberians to participate in the changes that are required? We're going to use arts and music and culture and reconciliation and religion. All of these things, we will be deliberate in using these things to engage us as a people in this transformation process. And so we're doing some work on how we can make those things happen. The next how is that we're going to find the money. We have to find the resources, the money, to do all of the what's I mentioned earlier. And the way we'll find the money is first, we'll go after waste in government. You know, we spend a lot of money on things that we don't need, or we pay too much for things that we do need. So for example, I believe the vehicles we buy for our government officials, we spend too much money on that. We should reduce the number of vehicles, and we should buy less expensive vehicles for our government officials. We need to reduce how much they make so we can pay teachers and civil servants and police officers and the military officers and healthcare workers, people who actually do the work. We need to pay them more money and reduce the gap between those at the top and those who actually do the work. The other way we'll find the money is going after this thing called corruption. You know, corruption has been the bane of our country. Is the primary reason why we are as underdeveloped as we are today. And we will aggressively go after corruption. The first thing we'll do is we will appoint a corruption czar, a minister in charge of corruption in the presidency that will coordinate all of the agencies that are meant to find corrupt officials. Secondly thing we'll do is we'll make sure we are giving the resources, the money, the right people, the right logistics to the anti-corruption agencies, the LACC, Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission, the General Accounting Office, the Public Procurement and Concessions Commission. We will make sure they got the right resources to go after corrupt officials. After that, when we find people who are corrupt, we will prosecute them, we will put them in jail, and we'll seize their assets. It will not be good enough for you just to resign. So those are the things we'll do to really go after corruption. I have committed that I will not take a salary. The salary that is paid the president, I will allocate it towards helping to fight corruption. That's how important I think it is to us. And then the other way we'll find the money is we'll make sure we're getting full value, the full monies we're due from our natural resources. We'll look to exploit other natural resources so we can get the funds required to fund healthcare, to fund infrastructure, to create jobs, etc., etc. So finding the money is the second how. The next how is we want to create a government of inclusion. We want all sections of our country to be represented in the government. We want opposition political parties to be in government because we believe that having a government inclusion will help all of us make the right decisions. It will make sure that we're spreading the resources of our country across the entire country. And then the last two hows, one is growing the private sector. We will focus on growing the private sector so Liberians can primarily benefit from that growth. No longer should Liberian business people be spectators to our economy. And we want to actively support Liberianization and encourage and provide credit and other facilities to Liberian businesses so they can participate. And last but not least, we will use technology. We'll leverage technology to help us achieve our goals. So those are the what's and the how's. But let me end by leaving you again with these two universal truths. One is we cannot keep doing the same things, my people, and expect different results. We cannot keep electing the same people with the same experiences and expect Liberia to change. We need to elect and select different people to lead us, to serve us, to help us manage and run our country. And the other universal truth is the best predictor of future performance and future behavior is past performance and past behavior. And on those two counts, I believe I stand head and shoulders above the other candidates aspiring. Together, we will change Liberia for the benefit of all Liberians. We will transform our country. We will give us a new start, a fresh start, so that all of us can benefit from this country we love. I thank you. God bless you. God bless the Republic of Liberia.
Chicken necro for day.
Thank you very much, guys, for listening again. And Yahuba Kamara, I got your question, and you are so fascinated. Listen, Mr. Cummings, sometimes people expect Mr. Cummings to have the big thing that everybody going to know about. But Mr. Cummings, right now, as I speak to you, excluding ANC or whatsoever, Mr. Cummings got over 200 people on his payroll, excluding his foundation. Mr. Cummings got a school in Liberia. It's the only school, the STEM school, science, technology, and mathematics, and whatsoever, engineer purposes. The only high school in Liberia, the Alex Academy in Ghana's. Cummings also organized got a 100% sponsoring or vocational school in Caldwell that teaches people how to cater, to do hair and whatsoever. And when they graduate, they get loans. Mr. Cummings also got other businesses that he runs. He got people that are doing it for him, working. People who work with Mr. Cummings, even the security that work with Mr. Cummings, not one day the pay is delayed. They got everything like any other person. So when you're talking about create companies, so you see, but let's say this. Why we should even concentrate on Mr. Cummings when all the people that we gave positions to in Liberia, they have not created one company. Today, they got into job government before they start to open schools and other businesses. But when they were in the private sector, when they were just ordinary person, today, sir, just like our schools all over. I'm an IE president. Today, he used to do a plank business, but today now he's not doing plank business again. He got big business and what he listed Thomas Fowler. You know what I'm saying? George Weah, he opened his business in Liberia when he was a professional soccer player. He could not even maintain the business. It went down, making president. Ellen Johnson did not open one company. Go back to 2005 and look at Ellen declaration. Ellen had more debt than what she had in her account. You know what I'm saying? So why are you concerned about Mr. Cummings opening a company? Even Mr. Cummings opening a company that is for his own business. But that is not a prerequisite for you to run for president. No. As a Liberian, it is your right to run for president. So let us not do things that is not right. I know, in fact, let me tell you, I just approved your friendship. You requested a friend, and I approve it. So you can, the question is, you're not trying to act like a travelist. You're not trying to, I know you support CDC, which is true, and you live Philadelphia. I know you good. You live Philadelphia, and you support CDC. You support the government, which is not a bad thing. But let us be honest to ourselves. The CDC government is clear. The corruption is broad. Ellen stole. We fought against Ellen, and we're doing the same thing. We saw people who could not even afford it. Those 4 years ago, today, they are millionaires. We see all that. So at least you will get to understand that yes, they let us down. Maybe you John act up now. I hope you don't. But John's put Liberia first. I'm talking about CPP. Within the CPP, be honest to yourself. Who do you think is better off in the CPP? What are you supporting, George? You have to be honest with the CPP and tell me. Let it be a perfect thing. And we say this all the time. If George Weah would do good and the people vote for him, so let it be. If George Weah can do good for the next 2 years and make the election very difficult, so be. You understand? But let us this time make sure that we find the best for Liberia. Let us not be afraid of people because they act because they're straight. If you listen to the noise in the market, you will always go and buy the rotten fish and walk out. If you listen because one girl disappointed you, you will never find another woman or one man disappoint you. So you see, this is what. So because we have bad leaders, bad politicians, I mean they don't have good ones. We still got good ones. We still got good Liberians. They are out there. But we should be the one way. That's why they make democracy to be the way that it's not 100%. Some day is bad because they might lean. Look at Joshua winning. Everybody follow Joshua because Liberians, I think that is how they brought us up. And the politicians continue to keep us back into the system. Don't make the people to be too educated. Don't put it, keep them hungry. When you come up with $5, they got no choice. But it's not going to happen this time around. So Mr. Cummings, I've created jobs in our country. Mr. Cummings has sponsored a lot of people. Mr. Cummings have done things in Liberia that no Liberians, I can challenge any Liberian. It's just that Mr. Cummings don't want to explain all these things that it make no sense. You don't have to look at it to support him. Mr. Cummings always say, God bless me. God bless my family. God bless my family. And Mr. Cummings is not one of the politicians who stole money that when they leave office, they broke. So if I would tell you, if I want to be very personal, Mr. Cummings, for what I know about him and reading about him, I can tell you for sure that this dude will never go broke because of the investment that he got himself in. He will never go broke. He's a financial officer. Mr. Cummings telling people how to protect their money. It will be the first time Liberian select a financial officer to be the president. So he tells other people the Cummings investment. He tells other people how to control their money. That is what he do for people. That is why that is his job. So don't you think that we ourselves have the same opportunity? He look at the priorities before he invests into something. You know, you got to get long term and short term. Not because they say that agriculture make money, so you just put everything into agriculture and don't worry about what the rest coming for now. They say dry meat stream, all you beat on the meat get dry. So if you want to invest into agriculture to make it big, you must still be able to import rice for your people. You will still be able to do certain things while you're trying to prepare yourself. So that is what Mr. Cummings is saying. So we can make it, we can do it together. So this is what Mr. Cummings, he will be the first Liberian, if they ever elected him to be the first guy who would tell you how to survive when it comes to finance. That is a job. That's the job. That's what he do for living. He did it for big companies, and he's still doing it today. So when we talk about creating companies, you see Bernard Ure created his company when he got money. After he stole enough, he didn't want to open a Lone Star. Lone Star belongs to him. He got it right. But MTN is from South Africa. But he has the right for the frequency and whatsoever. So he was able to push them, and they called it Lone Star. You see. But Mr. Cummings created a lot of jobs in Liberia. When you get over 200 people working for you, imagine how many families you're feeling right there. And everybody who working with Mr. Cummings, from the sweeper down and whatsoever, they all take pay on time. Nobody, his chief of staff is this. It's not ANC business. Everybody who work with the Cummings Foundation, they are on salary. The Cummings Foundation is the biggest non-for-profit foundation in Liberia as I speak to you, the biggest. And everybody work there, they on salary. It's not one of the foundations that's supposed to say, oh, you know, I just volunteering and people will send money, they will give us some rest to eat. They are on salary. That's how they operate. Registered national, internationally, they are both. They get money coming in all the time. You can compare the Cummings Foundation with the Bill Clinton Foundation. I can tell you today, with the Hillary and the Bill Clinton Foundation are doing things for other people. They might not be having that money, but they got that same status. I will tell you, it's the biggest foundation in Liberia. Don't let nobody fool you. Bigger than the whosoever, the Cummings Foundation. It's big. They into health, they into, especially the Cummings' wife, her passion is health and education. That's her passion. That's her passion. And she's the bone behind Mr. Cummings. Stand by him. For 40 years, they've been married. 40 years. 2 children. Mr. Cummings don't even have any kids outside. That's how he was coming up. When his mom took care of him, his sister, I think his sister passed. His mom stayed alive. She lived in Houston. Cummings was born right in Liberia. Government hospital. Went to Yeke Park, came back. He grew up in Point 4. He used to go and collect a man Dugaflare money when he put on set it doing his job. People can take the Dugaflare and sell it. We can take it, he go around and collect it. His father had some assistant minister job, then he became a priest, and he was just there with the Episcopal Church. So they were all strong. That discipline his father put into him. He slept on the floor like any other child. He slept on the floor. So it's not like he was born with silver spoon. He was never born with a silver spoon. His mother and father were poor. Like any other person. Going to CWA. Struggling. Became president for the senior class. Went to Cottington. They had people who were selling pepper. The children were going to Cottington. Yes. He graduated. He worked with LBDI. He came to America, got his degree, and went back. Worked with LBDI. At that time, it was easy to come to America. People who get scholarship and whatsoever, whether he came on the government, like my friend Sam can say, oh, Mr. Cummings came on government scholarship. He was supposed to go back and serve the government, and he never did, and he blah, 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 blah. All that thing are BS. BS. He came to America, the coup took place, and what you expect? What you expect? He came, he graduated, he went back, he worked with LBDI. He said, let me go back again and further my studies. Boop, coup took place. He worked with Pittsburgh Food Company. He was the youngest Black African or Liberian to ever reach the vice president position, 36 years old, responsible for the entire Asia, almost over $1 billion budget. Cummings. before he went to Coca-Cola. While he was with Coca-Cola, they sent him to Nigeria. So because he went to Nigeria, he should go in the refugee camp and say, "Yo, hello, I'm a Liberian man. I came to I brought money for you in the refugee camp because maybe in 2022 or 2017, I'll be running for president." Whoever went, they're not his business. Every Liberians in a refugee camp, some people, the relatives saw them, some people, Mr. Cummings had other relatives around. Mr. Cummings helped other people, but he don't need to come tell you because he respect dignity, he respect human being. Mr. Cummings do things for you, he will never ever tell anybody. There are people in Liberia today who are dying for sickness, who wanted to go to hospital. Mr. Cummings sponsors the hospital built and send them to Ghana, permanent Liberian people. But he will not talk about it. He will not talk about it. Mr. Cummings recommended people to work with Coca-Cola, but based on their merit, based on their hard work. That's why they told him. He never pushed nobody. Mr. Cummings, people come to Mr. Cummings and say, "Oh, you know, I'm a member of the ANC. I applied for my daughter's scholarship." He said, "Go back to the place there. Go back. Let the process play. Go to the Cummings Foundation and apply. They get scholarship based on merit, based on what you can do. You must be able to obtain this grades and whatsoever. The ones then that they can help them." You know what I'm saying? So that's him. He believed that everybody should work. He's not there to feed you. He wants to teach you how to fish, how to make it. He telling us here, don't settle for the last. Don't settle for second place until you cannot get the first. Always try to get the first. If you don't get the first, then you decide what to do. But never go with two options. He's saying it. He never know. Nobody ever told us before. If you fail to get to the top, you will get somewhere. So always aim for the top. Some of us, God kept us to where we're supposed to be. It's not a mistake. So if you don't have today, it's not a mistake. It's not that God don't love you. Always appreciate whatever you have and stay try. And you can get 100 people in the same class, all A students. Not the 100 want to be successful. Sometimes the smartest one might not be. And you ask yourself the question, Mr. Cummings graduated from Clark University. What is Clark University? It's not one of no big time university in the country yet. But today, look at him. The first time I saw the name Cummings and the picture was in 2004. 2004, yes. In a magazine talking about CEOs from Africa. I saw the guy from Sierra Leone and different companies in America. The top guys, and I saw this guy, Liberian. Oh, wow. You know what I'm saying? So that's life. He went out there to hustle like any other Liberians who's finished, retired, and that is what we're supposed to do. Like you saying that, all the people in America, look, in America, most of the guys work. They got into politics not because of money, but they want to change something. Either change for the good or the bad. But they already work out there. They were medical doctors, they were lawyers. Now they decide to get into politics, maybe to protect some business or some conservative business, or maybe they got them, they want to fight religion, they want to stand for religion oppression, all kinds of different things. They don't go there because they want to make money. Some of them make money. They got some Liberian Americans who their entire life was government job, like Joe Biden, like the Clintons. The Clinton working government throughout. Let's go to Barack. It's the same thing. Barack working, although he's young, but Barack started with the whole organizing, community organizer. He could have been working. His wife was the only person who worked in the big time corporation, but Barack could have went on Wall Street working for six figures and whatsoever, but he decided to get into politics where there was no money. And he wrote his book and make his first money out of it. And how he paid all his student loan. And then senator and whatsoever, and then he's president. And then today, what? He don't need to work again. He just to be doing one speech, almost a $500,000 now, just to go speak. 300,000, 400,000. Even our president, Ellen Johnson go and speak, and they put give him 100,000, 200,000 just to speak on Zoom live. You see, so Mr. Cummings not looking for job. When he lost the elections, Coca-Cola still wanted Cummings to go back. This is not a story I'm telling you. Coca-Cola finally gave our Cummings job after he refused, said, listen, I retire already. I resigned when I was prepared to resign, that yes, I'm going to resign. But what I'm in now, I can't come back again to work. He's already settled. He got shares and stocks, and people talk about it all the time. So that's how you're a financial guy. God bless him. He always say, I don't need salary. Even if government cannot produce cars and provide car for me, I don't need car. I just want to set it up for you guys. And I believe that when Mr. Cummings is president, the next president will be President Liberia must stand strong. You must know what you're depending on, because the system will be in a place that even Liberia will not even want to take no poor man again to be president. Liberia will not just want to take anybody to be president again, because the system will be there in a way that you yourself will be afraid not to go around the president business. So you see, Joshua is just blessed. I don't know if anybody will ever win the world best from Africa again. I don't know if any African will ever win the European best as an African. And I don't know if anybody in the state, in the status, in the position of George Weah to be president of Liberia again. I don't know. So Joshua is just a blessed guy. He's just a blessed guy. The man who never went to soccer academy and never went to World Cup, but went as far as world best player. The first player ever in the history of the world. Never went to the World Cup, but became world best player. Never went to any soccer academy. You know what I'm saying? And became world best player. The man who in Liberia was not a politician, who never struggled to know how they treat politicians. He never went through it. He was still in his prime. Nobody could just jail him because he was so popular. And he won the presidency. They put it on his head. They said, just wait for your time. That's your time. We'll give it to you. There are other people who went to jail, other people who suffer. Even today, other people going through hell. But George Weah never went through that. No government ever tried to jail George Weah. Nobody tried to do anything. Nobody harassed George Weah at all. I don't know if there will be any Liberian after George Weah in the thing of George Weah to say, because you're popular. George Weah, listen, George Weah did nothing in Liberia in real life that he will be president. Seriously. They get a lot of celebrities in America. You think they just jumped to be president? And Dragba tried to run for the FA position in Ivory Coast. They told him, say, Bambo, not because you play soccer, that means you know how to run football. Football administration is totally different playing football. Coaching is different from playing football. But only in Liberia, where you got a lot of poor people, poverty, then you get people coming into this thing here. But as time goes by, look, Liberia have gone to, we went to a cycle. We fought, we caused, we reached to the place now where you got this pipe with a dirty water. Now we're pushing the dirty water out with clean water. When you look here today, the young children in Liberia who are graduating from high school, colleges in Liberia, the Zogos are fading away gradually. Gradually, they are going out. Some of them are trying to change. We can do the government betrayed the Zogos. Sometimes when I think about it, I say we betray them. The government of Liberia betrayed these children. And I will get to it before I close my segment. They betray them. That is the responsibility of a government now. You must protect your people. You must provide the opportunity for your citizens. The unfortunate one, the ones who cannot make it, you must provide that opportunity for them. But I will get to it because some of us said it. And I brought it personally with Joshua and myself on the plane on Bellevue. That government responsibility to make sure that the citizens got everything to strive to get to make it into life until they cannot make it. You know what I'm saying? So we're pushing it out. The young children 14 years old, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 29. They all had out of high school. They going. Now today you can see young children in the age. Now you're not finding no 28 years old person graduating from high school in Liberia anymore. Now we find more young people graduating from high school. People send their kids to school now very early and whatsoever. Now let's go to the Zogos. When the war started in Liberia, some children were 10 years old. Add 14 years war to 10, 24. Add Amos Sawyer is a scene 24 when Charles Taylor took over. Add Charles Taylor 1997 to 2000. Then add Ellen Johnson 12 years. Oh, add Charles Taylor short little years that he went for, I think, or 3 or 4 years, and Ellen Johnson 12 years. Imagine the age, they in 40 something years. They don't know how to read and write. And at the same time, when the Zogo, they got other Zogos other children who went to school based on drugs, they remain in the street. It was an easy way for us to settle the problems. That's the responsibility of government. You get a Bela Yala, which is not a prison compound anymore. Revitalize the entire Bela Yala, make it out of dormitory, clear the land, put a football field, put a basketball court, put a gym and whatsoever. They got a big land that they can do their farming. Then you make the announcement to the Zogos in the street. You give them 3 options that they want to follow. You can be a carpenter. You don't need to get a high school paper. You don't need to know 2 plus 2, but you can practical work. They can do it. They can be a mechanic. Some can be specialized to change bricks. They can teach them strictly practical. Then you get a mason, the one who can mix the block, who can do this and put the thing up. You give them 2 years to that school. The first one that will volunteer, you give 6 months. You announce it. If we catch you in the street, leave the street and go home. When we grab you in the street, you got no choice, but you're going to go to that school. Then while you're to that school, government will sponsor that thing, will give you at least $20 or $25 every month, or do you eat it free? But that money will be put aside and you get $5 for yourself, but you're getting free food. When you lock it, you can do other job on the campus to make money. But when you finish, what you're going to do, you will have to serve government at least for a year. So if you're a carpenter, they're going to take you and send you to GSA, and you're going to start building furniture for government made in Liberia. You will start building decks and this and that. We don't need to purchase it anymore. Then the mechanics, they will assign them to all the ministries to start doing the tires and whatsoever. Simple. After 1 year, if they want to stay, they can stay, or government hire them permanently. They be on salary, they can go and do their business. By the time you have just taken some people off the street. And other people who their children giving them hard time, they will attend that school and they will pay. Just how we had the Boston Institute. It's the same thing I told Zoga Wilson. I explained those, like, oh, put it in writing. I took my time. I just took an email Zoga Wilson. Maybe an email went in a toilet house. Zoga, you play football in Liberia. Do you know how many soccer players are in Liberia are going through hell? They never went to school. You got Friday. I saw Friday Rabbi in Liberia. I felt so bad, Papa. Zoga, you're the president. Negotiate with FIFA, with LFA. Work with LFA. LFA contact FIFA. FIFA will send a coach or trainer. When they send a trainer, you make the announcement. All the former players and all the other players in the counties who want to be a coach, they will train them. They will be satisfied by FIFA. They will not have the Class A license, but they will all be satisfied by FIFA. And then when you finish what you do, you go to the Ministry of Health and Ministry of Education. You talk to the ministers that, listen, every public school must employ a satisfied coach for now. How many teachers in Liberia, how many persons in Liberia got a degree in PE? Dr. George Bully was a PE. He got a PhD in PE. So that teacher, that guy who will be the coach for the school, will be able to go through the physical education for these people. They will find someone to do the ready, but the coach we train them, and the coach responsibility is to develop that high school, junior high team, and the high school team. Then those that are living out of the city, when you came from Maryland and you get a coaching degree, I'm sorry, certificate, they will hire you, youth and sport will hire you. You'll be living in Maryland, and your responsibility is to also develop the county team. So all the counties got coaches. All the counties supposed to have coaches because to develop the county team. Now the national team coach is easy for him to work along with all the other coaches. So all these guys in the county, they are on youth and sport payroll. When county meet is coming, he knows exactly nobody need to come from Monrovia to go and play for Maryland County. That is how the county meet going to be. Nobody in the first division should play for any county. Like during the past, they used to use 2 or 3 players, first division team players. Joshua never played county meet. But to make it good, to develop the sports, you can say, okay, you can use 1 or 2 first division team player in a game at a time, or you let it go. The counties should bring their team from the counties. And then when you look, you have just created job for your former players. They are county coaches, and the other side they teaching. Then when they start to spawn, when they start to train the government schools, Ministry of Education regulates all schools. Even you can tell the private schools, say, listen, you must hire a certified coach, not just anybody. Right there, you just create job have been created. Everybody free. You get a good school team, you get a good county meet. Then from there, you get good national league, LFA national league. But you taking the same LFA player to in from Monrovia, the entire Lofa County team coming from Monrovia. The entire Grand Crew team, few come from there, the other one coming from Monrovia. What's that? Why are we so selfish? We don't have that mindset to create, to leave your name, your legacy, say, yeah, this is what we're doing. We got a football president, but Liberia, we're not even progressive. We're just there. We get a foreign coach, but we still don't have the support. We look at national team, but we forget about the prime. Today, I and Barrow, they down all the way in the dungeon. Forget about I going to first division. Football is not even nothing in Liberia anymore. Even the President of the Republic of Liberia leave job to go watch Arsenal and other people playing international match on TV. In fact, he got a TV in office. They all sit down during the time they're supposed to be working. When they play Arsenal, they play Man U, they sit in the president's office and watch the game, and they drink and they be laughing. I'm saying it because people say it, and it's truth. Government office empty when they play games. Not those days when Aye Barrow play, everybody trying to rush there. Aye Barrow can be playing at the same time they play Manchester again for nothing. Nobody on that football field. But LFA building a big office, LFA doing this. Your team is your league is a day. Those days we used to get players from Ghana, Sierra Leone to come and blend with us. The only team that survived now will be your corporation. You should be a company. There's some less like the other guy who, you will know independent to be your first division team. I remember England lost 2 chances to go to the World Cup. The FA had to pump in millions of dollars in all the teams just to bring in foreign players to boost the team and to make the national league strong and for the national team to be better. All these things come in innovation, gotta be smart and make it work. So when you get, and who told you Mr. Cummings loves soccer? But he mean I gonna go play soccer. He play it, but he ain't playing the way George Weah play it. Mr. Cummings believed that every sector of government is important. Every sector in government is important. Sports, everything is important. And that's why government is almost like an octopus. They stretch the, you know, the lane, the autopause all over the place. That's how government operates. You can't tell me you will suppress a youth exposed because the Minister of Finance and State can operate. You take bulk of the money and give it to Minister of State. They play the president sitting. You take all the money, you put it to the president because 2023 election coming, so they gave something type of business initiative. But at the scene of the first one, I want to say county tour. So you put in a budget. You know what they did it for? Because the last budget that was signed during Ellen administration, Mr. Bwaka had $500,000 in there for county tour. At the same time, the government, the election was on. It's the same thing the government doing. You think they don't know? They know. They saw the document. So what they're doing, they're pushing more money into the budget because election is coming. They will use the money for traveling business and say, oh, the president is going on tour. The president is going on county tour again to go and campaign. So that the strategy, you don't read it yet. You don't follow it. So you're going to be paying for the campaign. You see, George Weah is playing with the book of Eli, but George Weah have gone far off. They upgraded the Eden book. When it comes to corruption, it was upgraded. It was upgraded so badly until they only keep it, they only get it in certain area. Not everybody in government operating. CDC got good brains if they want to do good. But it's just our president honestly like brain people. If they really want to go, the CDC got the brains. I can tell anybody that. They got people to do it. But now, because they see the president corruptness, they see that the president is corrupt. So some of them go in there and say, if the president give me job, the first thing I will do, I will make sure the president eat. When the president eat, I can eat. They say you eat, I eat, I eat, you eat. If I can't eat, you must eat. That's the rules of a corrupt leader. The rules of a corrupt leader, when they conjugating the verb to eat, now he eats, she eats. No. You eat, the man say, preso. You eat, I eat. I eat, you eat. If I can't eat, you must eat. That's the conjugate, to conjugate the verb, to eat. So you see, but we've been saying these things. When I was not criticizing the government anymore, we propose things, we come on internet every day. Let the government try and have all Liberian conference. It would be better to have an all Liberian conference, invite librarians from around the world, doctors, engineers, and whatsoever to put a blueprint together. But it's money. It's like you get business, you put money into business to generate money. You see, so you bring all the librarians together. 1 month, you transport them. Now I'm talking about when they say bring librarians together. I'm not saying that you should come for me. You got other librarians that are well to do. You bring them to put a blueprint together and you take it to the legislature, they approve it. They like it. The next president that will come will follow that blueprint. The next president that will come in will say, oh, there's a blueprint there to follow. Yes, he will come with agenda, but everybody coming, they bring in their own agenda. Everybody bringing their security. You talk to Mr. Cummings today. Do you have, Mr. Cummings said, I don't got no security to bring with me. I'm not going to bring 10,000 security in government. They already got to see. We only need to train them again. If they prepare to be trained, because every one of them are partisan security. Are they prepared to be trained, to be neutral? You are there to protect opposition, not the individual name. It's not your responsibility to go to the dry cleaner or go pick up your boss man or your boss man wife clothes. They're not your business for your boss man wife to send you to go to the supermarket and go buy things for them. All the things that bullshit and nonsense thing. That those days, the police director wife don't have to use the police cars. Why the police director wife should got a police assigned to her to do what? Using government property. Yeah. Why should minister use government property to go run campaign? Broad day stealing and corruption. But you guys don't want to talk about it. You guys sitting there because it's in your favor. It's in your, oh yes, that's good, President. We are doing there. Yeah, President, we are guy. He 3 times more, but look at the man. Oh, that man enjoy the man eat dry. He say when the puppy eat the dry. Oh, the puppy enjoy the dry. The puppy eat the dry with small fish. Why you there swallowing spit? They hold your big and I was sometimes get vexed. Suppose say, why you giving them money for? Why you giving them money? I want people that our people will help them. We will help them. So if you want to give them a Christmas, you give them so I can get other people, please. Because I know they say, but what money begging for money for? Me, I just asking you. I'm forcing you. And I'm forcing nobody to give it. But if you give it, I will take it. They say, ask, it shall be given. Seek, and you will find. Yeah. So, okay, guys. I'm getting ready to close up. I'm getting ready. Gold mine where the gold in air lifted from the side. You don't know that that thing been operating in Liberia a long time from Cape Mount to Sierra Leone. They come there every evening to collect. Liberia Kenju Town, New Liberty. You see, somebody just sent a video of Liberia. This is a gold mine in Liberia. Liberty, they call it Liberty Town. Wow, you see, this is a gold mine. The people are doing business in Liberia like hell. An individual is actually enjoying. And guess who do the documentary? The white people. Liberia, Kinjun Town. They call it the New Liberty Ma, Maui, Mavu, Mavu, New Liberty Town. Wow. The big old, wow. I see your people operating. It's right in Liberia. In Liberia. It's a gold mine. Damn. Liberia got more land, more forests than anything. But when they finish with their place, before people thinking about building there, this is not a highway. This is not a development going. This is a gold mine. And this thing that not George we are time. It started when early 12 years. They started thinking the people signed some contract. You even know. Liberian government signed contract with companies when it comes to this thing. Some people don't even know. When they leave it, they turn it over to the other president. Wow. New Liberty. Okay, guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate your time and your comments, and I pray that we all do it right. You know what I'm saying? So don't. I have no problem against you for your comments, but sometimes some of the comments make no sense to us. You know, lack of planning, no vision, my brother. That's the fact, Eric. Yes, thank you very much, my brother, for the contribution. I appreciate it. And they became potential feeder to the national team. Yep, the team is scouting the various counties for first division. That's the fact. You know, our county meets that what we used to get our players from those days. Simeon Mato, I can remember Simeon Mato came from Maryland, and Robert Clark, and Friday, Robert Clark and Ezekiel Doe. That's where they came from. So you see, we told like you know, most of the guys are failures, man. We explain all these things to them. We explain all these things. We talk to them. Oh, put in writing. Yeah, you know, but yeah, I don't support any politician in Liberia, and will never vote anymore in this country because it is a complete waste of my time. Voting in this country is just to give other people and their families better life while you remain poor. Let Cummings stop all his pretense about changing Liberia because that country is complex. I am just a concerned Liberian and not a supporter of anyone. You may call a politician, you may call it. I'm just concerned about how Cummings is presenting himself as a messiah. He is no okay, and small ball. I understand your frustration, but do not waste your constitutional ability, your rights, not because of other politicians. That means there's no good ones. But let me tell you today, there is no proof, and there is no way you can even sell it to say because John Brown did this. At least you know who caused the problem. But if you say the next man is pretending, then I have an issue with that. That means you decided to only deprive yourself of your rights. So it is your right. Don't vote. It is your right. But don't put yourself into a situation because of other politicians you voted for. So I'm not going to vote again. If you don't vote again, you will still get the bad leaders, whether you like it or not. If you stay back and you don't vote, you will get somebody that you don't want. And it will pain you. And yes, if you're good, if you think you're okay, and you forget because you don't want to vote and think Liberians are stupid people and they continue to vote the bad leaders because of people like us who decided, I'm not going to get into politics. I'm tired of the whole damn thing here. New politicians are better than old politicians when it comes to what? Mr. Cummings have never worked in government. His resources are not from government. And guess what? He's not one of those guys who just left from college and trying to run for office against an experienced man. This man have worked. His record is clear. What he had done, he came from all the way from the bottom, he got to the top. He has an experience. You don't need to work in government to get experience. So he has an experience. So his entire wealth, whatever he worked for, that God bless him, it never came from government. He since 2017, 2016, he moved back home. Not one day his name is in the newspaper that Mr. Cummings tried to cross a deal to go free container or to do something, or Mr. Cummings owe taxes. The building Mr. Cummings get on 5th Street, he pay his taxes. He pay over $1 million a year. Yeah, I'm sorry, what I just said. The house, they pay for he cost, I think, over $1 million. I'm making a mistake. 13%. I'm trying to tell you, he paid 13% every year on the house. I think that's what he paid, because it won't be turned into a commercial building. So commercial and real estate tax in Liberia is 13%. And the other one is, I think resident is 1.9 if I'm mistaken. But I will find it out. So he pay his taxes. You know what I'm saying? So he up to present, he has not been involved in anything. Nothing. So how will you say this man pretending? And when this man can be bold enough to tell people the truth, that if you think that I'm not your guy, don't vote for me. If you think that if Joshua are going to do good and we will lose the election, so be it, let Liberian people benefit. If Joshua are going to make the next 2 years do good and make the election harder for us, that's how it's supposed to be. At least Liberians will be first. Then you say he pretending as if he would do this. Listen, I can understand frustration. Liberians are people who sometimes you think that they nobody. But I want you to go back and look at the history of Liberians, of Liberia in the when it comes to voting. They changing every day, small ball. They changing. Do not speak like the name you use in small ball. Small boys don't have ideas. Politics is not for babies. Don't speak like a small boy. Don't get frustrated. This is your constitutional right. It's your city, you're a citizen of Liberia. You can vote 10 times for in the presidential election and never find a winner and never get a winner on your side. But that doesn't mean that that's not it. You don't have to be in a group that maybe you don't get a job in there or why I'm going to support. But listen, like Mr. Cummings always said, that Liberians should not be stranger. Liberians should have the opportunity to do business in Liberia, to get loans. If we give a loan to one Liberian and you mess up, we will go after you and will prosecute you. But at the same time, we will give it to another Liberian. If we gave you money to purchase cars for government and you don't produce the cars that we want, we will prosecute you and we'll make sure you go to court. We can still give another Liberian an opportunity. It's the same thing, like good credit, bad credit. Some of us got good credit, some of us got bad credit. But at the same time, you get bad credit, say, hey, we can credit you, but we increase your interest rate. We still credit you, but we give you something different. So please, small boy, don't discourage yourself. Don't let politicians discourage you. Don't do it. Don't change your mind. At least you get it next time where you can stay up here. But don't do that. Don't deprive yourself. Don't let nobody deprive you. Be a part of the process. Whether you win or not, whether they change or not, be a part of the process. It is not your responsibility. It's not your fault when you vote for me and I don't perform. But you should be brave enough to tell me the truth if I'm not performing, and you tell me, say, listen, Mr. Kishan, I voted for you for nothing. Mr. Kishan, you are a disgrace to all the politicians. You see, I'm free to tell Darius, you corrupt. I supported Darius Dillon. My small little money, because the guys some people I gave Darius 20,000 all. But my little $500 I work for, I sweat for it, I give it to him. I put it in his hand directly now, but I put it in the campaign's hand. So you see, but at the same time, I'm brave enough to tell I say you corrupt, Darius. If you can be justifying $30,000, you continue to apologize through all your life. You're trying to shame your mom and disgrace the woman after she took all that time to discipline you. Yeah. So I tell you, you vote for someone and they don't make it, be bold enough to tell them the truth, because you are the one who puts them into power. You should be the one to advise them. You should be the one to tell them, say, listen, what you're doing is wrong. They are not your friends. They can't be your relatives. They are not your relatives. We all know. That's why I say don't fall in love with politicians, because they're going to get money and make their family rich, and call them out. If you don't, it's going to be hard. You understand, my brother? So don't mess up your don't get pissed off and deprive yourself because some corrupt politicians continue to mess us up. Then you say, oh, I'm not going to vote again, I'm not going to do nothing. Don't do it. Don't do it. So guys, And you can subscribe to my YouTube. You can go there. I know Liberians don't like to go on YouTube, but you can go to YouTube and you type in TGN TV on YouTube. You subscribe and you can still watch all the old stuff that I've been doing. So this is broadcast on 3 sites. You can also go to the General on Facebook. There's a group there called the General. You can sign into the General too on Facebook, and I will accept you. And there are a lot of good people in there. And then you can watch other programs. Other people put their stuff in there. And also you can go on my page and Facebook and what some of you guys doing right now. So have a good day. God bless you. And please don't forget, please put a smile on the face of someone. And I will tell you, yes, they got beggars in America, but please, I know you want to give, but I would prefer you giving to somebody in Liberia. They deserve it more than people here. So please, I beg you, help. Do the best that you can. And I'm going to leave you with the comments agenda again, that you say 5 watts and how. But before that, let me just go over to this promo for elect comments. This, let me see.
That in the business you catching fever, getting serious like anti-river. Ain't no stopping by the river. And as we coming, we sweeping, we cutting, we moving all the way. Yeah, yeah. We coming, yeah. Well, it's gonna be coming. As we coming, we sweeping, we coming. Anywhere we meet up, stick. Well, it's gonna be coming. Yeah, you come on, man, yeah. We coming.
Okay, you see that? That's just a quick one.
That in the business you catching fever, getting serious like anti-river. Ain't no stopping by the river. And as we coming, we sweeping, we cutting, we moving all the way. Yeah, yeah. We coming, yeah. Well, it's gonna be coming. As we coming, we sweeping, we coming. Anywhere we meet up, stick. Well, it's gonna be coming. Yeah, you come on, man, yeah. We coming.
Kokolioko, chicken they grow for day.
The oldest republic in Africa. And yet, we're one of the least developed countries on the continent, and indeed one of the least developed countries in the world. And I say to you, my fellow Liberians, we deserve a better Liberia. We need to ask ourselves some fundamental questions. Why are we where we are? Most Liberian homes don't have electricity. Most Liberian homes don't have running water. Most Liberians are unemployed. These are things we can change. These are things we should demand of ourselves and of our leaders. We, as Liberians, cannot keep doing the same things and expect different results. We cannot keep electing and selecting the same kinds of leaders with the same kinds of experiences and expect Liberia to change. We have to do many things differently, and that starts with selecting and electing new leaders who know how to create jobs, who know how to grow the economy, who will prioritize the Liberian people first before they prioritize themselves. And this is what I offer you, the Liberian people. The other universal truth that I want to share with you, my fellow Liberians, is the best predictor of future performance and future behavior is past performance and past behavior. And again, I ask you to look at my record of job creation, of success, of managing large budgets without one penny going missing. All of these things you can look at and compare to the other candidates. And again, you will see that my past performance and past behavior is a good predictor, a good indicator that what I commit to, we will deliver. There are 5 priorities we have, and we call that the what's. And then there are 5 things we call the how we'll do it. And those priorities are as follows. Our first priority is infrastructure. Simply put, it's electricity, it's roads, it's water, and it's internet and cell phone connectivity across Liberia. We have to invest in infrastructure. That is the top priority. That's the basis on which we can and will do everything else. The second priority for us is job creation. There are too many unemployed, underemployed, and unemployable Liberians. The unemployment rate is over 85%. And therefore, job creation is our next priority, creating jobs for the Liberian people. Our next priority is agriculture. We are a country that do not fear ourselves. These are things we can do for ourselves. We should be producing rice to feed ourselves. And my commitment is that by the end of my first term in office, we will be self-sufficient in rice production. And within education, we are focused on vocational training, teachers training, and adult education. But we have to educate our young people because, again, that's how we can help them create jobs. That's how we can train farmers. And so these things are all linked together. And our final priority in terms of the what's is health. Because you can have good infrastructure, you can have a good job, you can feed yourself, you can have great education, but if you don't have your health, it doesn't matter. And so health is our 5th priority, and there we're focused on primary health care and preventive health care. So those are the what's we'll do for our people, for the Liberian people. How are we going to do these things? The first how is we want to engage Liberians differently in the transformation of our country. We call this hearts and minds. How do we get all Liberians to participate in the changes that are required? We're going to use arts and music and culture and reconciliation and religion. All of these things, we will be deliberate in using these things to engage us as a people in this transformation process. And so we're doing some work on how we can make those things happen. The next how is that we're going to find the money. We have to find the resources, the money, to do all of the what's I mentioned earlier. And the way we'll find the money is first, we'll go after waste in government. You know, we spend a lot of money on things that we don't need, or we pay too much for things that we do need. So for example, I believe the vehicles we buy for our government officials, we spend too much money on that. We should reduce the number of vehicles, and we should buy less expensive vehicles for our government officials. We need to reduce how much they make so we can pay teachers and civil servants and police officers and the military officers and healthcare workers, people who actually do the work. We need to pay them more money and reduce the gap between those at the top and those who actually do the work. The other way we'll find the money is going after this thing called corruption. You know, corruption has been the bane of our country. Is the primary reason why we are as underdeveloped as we are today. And we will aggressively go after corruption. The first thing we'll do is we will appoint a corruption czar, a minister in charge of corruption in the presidency that will coordinate all of the agencies that are meant to find corrupt officials. Secondly thing we'll do is we'll make sure we are giving the resources, the money, the right people, the right logistics to the anti-corruption agencies, the LACC, Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission, the General Accounting Office, the Public Procurement and Concessions Commission. We will make sure they got the right resources to go after corrupt officials. After that, when we find people who are corrupt, we will prosecute them, we will put them in jail, and we'll seize their assets. It will not be good enough for you just to resign. Okay. So those are the things we will do to really go after corruption. I have committed that I will not take a salary. The salary that is paid the president, I will allocate it towards helping to fight corruption. That's how important I think it is to us. And then the other way we'll find the money is we'll make sure we're getting full value, the full monies we're due from our natural resources. We'll look to exploit other natural resources so we can get the funds required to fund healthcare, to fund infrastructure, to create jobs, etc., etc. So finding the money is the second how. The next how is we want to create a government of inclusion. We want all sections of our country to be represented in the government. We want opposition political parties to be in government because we believe that having a government inclusion will help all of us make the right decisions. It will make sure that we're spreading the resources of our country across the entire country. And then the last two hows, one is growing the private sector. We will focus on growing the private sector so Liberians can primarily benefit from that growth. No longer should Liberian business people be spectators to our economy. And we want to actively support Liberianization and encourage and provide credit and other facilities to Liberian businesses so they can participate. And last but not least, we will use technology. We'll leverage technology to help us achieve our goals. So those are the what's and the hows. But let me end by leaving you again with these two universal truths. One is we cannot keep doing the same things, my people, and expect different results. We cannot keep electing the same people with the same experiences and expect Liberia to change. We need to elect and select different people to lead us, to serve us, to help us manage and run our country. And the other universal truth is the best predictor of future performance and future behavior is past performance and past behavior. And on those two counts, I believe I stand head and shoulders above the other candidates expiring. Together, we will change Liberia for the benefit of all Liberians. We will transform our country. We will give us a new start, a fresh start, so that all of us can benefit from this country we love. I thank you. God bless you. God bless the Republic of Liberia.
Chicken necro for day.